Hey guys, and welcome to a Top Table Gaming YouTube video, and today is a review video. I've got Mr. Sam Page here with me today.
Hello.
Pillar of the community. We're going to be reviewing the new rules manual.
Yes.
New rules manual. I've had a quick flick through it. Sam has gone from cover to cover.
Yes.
And
because I like doing this.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy in the row. So, pretty much we were saying the move phase, priority phase, shoot phase, fight phase, courage, the cavalry rules.
It all seems pretty similar.
Yeah.
When I was reading through it, nothing jumped out as majorly different.
It's just been worded a little bit different.
There's some tidying up of wording.
Yeah.
Some bits about keywords. The cavalry section is quite key for that. You know, cavalry rather than.
So basically the core rules are almost the same as they always have been.
Which is good because I don't think they particularly need to change all that much.
No, they were a good set of rules anyway.
Yeah.
All the changes start pretty much when we come to the heroes.
Yes. The heroes have changed quite a bit, as I'm sure people have seen from the various blogs that Games Workshop put out.
Yeah, they've been awesome.
It's
coming
been
out every
great
day
to see a week's worth of.
And it's nice that they're jumping the gun and sort of beating everyone else to it with the spoilers. That kind of tickled me actually. I think that's a good way to go forward. So heroes, Sam.
Heroes. Well, let's jump to page 64. So as spoiled by the blog, heroes have access to 3 core heroic actions.
Yep.
They've got the standard 3 of move, shoot, and combat.
Yep.
Every hero has that, regardless whether you're Fatty Bulgur or Sauron.
Yep.
But they've now put in a load of extra heroic actions, which are darn cool. And I'm really excited I was really excited when I looked through the book. I was like, that's cool.
I'm dying to try them out. I can't wait.
I am.
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of forgetting, I think.
There is.
I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to be like moving heroes to do certain heroic actions.
Yeah.
I think, I can't do that. Now he's dead.
Yeah. It'll take some time.
Yeah.
But before you can get into heroic actions, how hero spin might has actually changed.
Yes.
So before, when you wanted to modify a dice, let's say we were playing, if me and you both wanted to modify, we'd have to get all secret and declare on a dice how many might we were spending.
Yeah.
No one ever did it,
No.
and I'm happy to say and quite glad to see that that's gone.
Yeah.
It's now just a bidding war. It's like I'm going to spend my point, Steve will spend my point until one of us goes, no, I don't want to spend any more.
Or I've got none left.
Or you've got none left.
Yeah.
Which I think is really good. It makes it cleaner, and say it's how people play anyway.
Yeah. It's just ironed out all those sort of question marks about how it should be played.
Yes.
And I think going forward, especially on the tournament scene, it's going to make life a lot easier for TOs, especially the players.
Yeah. So obviously as a TO reading through this book, I can already see that my life is going to be a hell of a lot easier.
Yes.
With rules queries, because everything is just worded to the letter.
Yeah.
It's so clear, it's so precise.
Yeah.
Hopefully we shouldn't have any of those pedantic, but it says here that X and says there Y.
Rules as written and rules as intended and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky in the sense that it's Jay who's wrote them.
Yes.
He's been there in those situations and he's got a lot of feedback from the community and I think it's just brilliant that someone from the community is the person that's put these words on the page and we can all read them as they're meant to be.
Exactly. So how you can use might hasn't changed. Obviously it's got a nice little chart, taking test, dual roll shooting, all the usual stuff. And it does state at the top that it can't be used to alter any other rules, which makes it nice and clear if it's not under one of these brackets, should we say, you can't do it. Again, nice and clear.
Unless it's stated in a different...
Unless it's stated somewhere else, where this is the case, if it's stated in a special rule.
Yeah.
Which is handy. So we'll get on to heroic actions. Obviously, as we stated, you've got heroic move, heroic shoot, heroic combat.
Yeah.
These haven't changed. Which is handy. So you still got obviously heroic moving with me, heroic shoot and loose, and heroic combat obviously doesn't have a second bit to it. It's just yourself. Anybody who's played Lord of the Rings will know what they are.
Yeah.
If you don't know and you've got an older version of the rulebook, read that. This hasn't changed.
Yeah, at all.
Some heroic actions, as we'll see in a minute, don't always happen at the start. They happen. They break the sequence.
Yes.
Which we'll explain in more detail as we get onto this page. So when we eventually get the army book, again they've teased us on the blog. In the profile, it's going to have stat line, war gear, and then heroic actions.
Yes.
And this will basically tell you what your heroes can do. Not every hero is going to have the same heroic actions. You know, Vasco might not be able to do what Aragorn can do.
Yeah.
Your lowly goblin captain can't do what Sauron can do.
Which is brilliant in a number of ways.
Yes.
Picking your army for certain events.
Yeah. Certain scenarios.
Yeah. Certain scenarios, certain events. Who you can think what the meta might become.
Yeah.
People will be able to choose the heroes in accordance.
If you want a hero who can heroic strike, you're actually going to have to go through your book and get someone who can. I mean, we don't know. You might not have. You know, let's say you're playing Mordor. There might not be anybody who can heroic strike. I highly doubt that'll be the case. But you know, you might have to think about allies and can I bring in someone who can march or do heroic resolve or heroic channeling.
And then the allies is another aspect of picking. But we'll come to that later.
We'll come to that in about 100 pages time. So we've got heroic resolve. This is one of the new ones. Again, it's been spoiled on the blog.
Yeah.
This is one of my favourite ones in the book.
Yeah. I agree.
Other than heroic challenge, which we'll get to in a bit. This is anti-magic basically. So when a hero declares a heroic resolve, the effects of the heroic action take place immediately. So this is where we're breaking up the timing chart.
Yeah.
So as soon as you call a heroic resolve, that it happens.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. I mean, it doesn't say, but it says immediately.
Yeah.
So it'll be before anybody moves.
Yeah.
For any models that are within 6 inches of a hero model that declared heroic resolve, including the hero, receive 1 free additional dice to any resist test they make for the remainder of the turn. This is huge.
It's massive.
6-inch bubble of resistance to magic. Now there is one caveat: is your hero has to stay still.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to move. They're too busy steeling themselves against the unfriendly magics, as it says here.
Yeah.
But they can still cast magical powers, which is cool. Because obviously this is going to be on. I'd imagine your wizards and your big heroes like your Gandalfs, your Aragorns might have this.
Yeah, which they should do.
Yeah.
There was so many conversations. I remember doing videos. I think it was with GBHL James.
Yeah.
Talking about what we'd like to see, and I was kind of in the camp of certain big heroes like your Aragorns, should get to roll at least one dice regardless of will store, and this is kind of a cool twist on it.
Yeah.
So it does cost you to get it.
Yeah, it costs you a might point.
But it's well worth it.
But if let's say you're playing an all-hero army and you've got Gandalf, and for a turn Gandalf doesn't move, but you can keep everybody else within 6 and protect them from magic.
Yeah.
Or give them an extra protection from magic is incredible. And what is good is it stacks with resistance to magic.
Yes.
Which, as we'll see later, doesn't work in the same way as it used to.
Yes.
If you are resistant to magic and you're under heroic resolve, you're getting 2 free dice to resist before you even spend any will.
Which is cool, yeah.
And your heroes get 2 free dice, so no more blasting orcs.
And it works on normal warriors.
Yes. Yeah. So warriors mysterious.
Yeah. None of that. Oh well, I'm not going to target him because he's got will. I'm going to target the guy in front of him and knock him off his horse or knock him off his warg.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good role.
I see this being potentially quite. Obviously, we've got to get it on the table.
Yeah. I think I'll take some mastering.
Yes.
We'll take some mastering.
Just all these heroics before anybody cries broken is they spend the might point.
Yeah.
And most heroes, unless your name's Boromir, and I doubt he will have heroic resolve.
No.
He doesn't strike me as that sort of character.
No.
Is only going to have 3 might points.
Yeah.
And if they're spending it on this, they're not spending it on up in the dice or heroic combats.
Yeah.
So I like it, but I think as I say, it requires some mastery.
Yeah. Definitely.
And if you call it too early, you're just wasting your might point.
Yeah. But that's it. It becomes like a game of poker.
Yes.
Who's got the poker face? Is he going to cast? Do I need to cast? Do I need to call this now, or should I hold it back?
It is worth noting, just before we go into the other heroics, is it says in brackets when you call it. So heroic resolve is called at the start of the phase.
Yes.
The next one, which if you've played the Hobbit edition, you'll be familiar with, is heroic march. Again, this hasn't changed.
No.
It's nice and simple, allows you to go quick.
Yeah.
Don't think we need to say too much on
We
that.
all know how that one works.
Heroic channeling, again, we know what that does.
Yeah, just boosts your spells at the cost of a might point.
Yes, and every magic power now has a channel effect.
Yes.
So
and some of them are pretty nasty.
Some of them are pretty nasty. We'll cover a few of those. Heroic accuracy, one of the lesser seen ones, I think.
I've used it a couple of times.
Yeah, but if you ask anybody what heroic accuracy does, I'd imagine it would take them slightly longer to figure out what it does over heroic channeling, heroic march.
And it's quite effective.
Yes.
It is quite effective. If you've got numerous bow shots, it's well worth the point of mine, I think.
One of my friends down south used to play in Arnold Army, you know, great company, lots of rangers with Aragorn.
Yeah.
Every turn, 3 heroic accuracy.
Yeah.
Get what he wants dead.
Brilliant, yeah.
It's great in the right hands.
I think I used my Percy because I pumped him up with Alfred. I'm sure that was and it was quite handy.
Yeah. The next one in the book is Heroic Strike. Again, we know that. We don't need to, go over that. It hasn't changed. It's still D6 fight value.
I think that was one of the ones that, leading up to the rules change, a lot of people, and I was one of them, to think it should change. It should be like go up by D3.
D3.
But the fact now that not everybody gets it, I think it counters that well.
I think that is a good counterpoint to making it D3.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather certain people have it than everybody have it. Still have that option of sometimes a Goblin Captain beating Aragorn.
Yeah, I was going to say, like the example they use, a lowly captain. I think Jay used it at Arnicon.
Yeah.
A lowly captain beating Aragorn.
It shouldn't
It's crazy. Yeah.
We've got a new one, Heroic Defence.
I like this one.
I do like this one. A hero model that declares a Heroic Defence will only suffer a wound on the roll of a natural 6. So in the ensuing fight, regardless of any modifiers, brutal power attacks. If the hero would usually have been wounded on the 6x4, 6x5 or 6x6, then they will only be wounded if both rolls are natural rolls.
Yeah.
So basically they need 6s to wound.
Yes.
Without any modifiers. Two-handed, piercing strike, rends, trying to think if there's any other modifiers. Aglos, spear.
Yeah.
If that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And there is a caveat: your horse or your fell beast or whatever isn't affected by Heroic Defence.
Just the hero.
But that is real good.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I have no idea who they put it on.
We'll soon find out.
We'll soon find out when we look through the army book.
But I really, really like that. I think that's. We've all been there.
Your hero gets surrounded by 8 berserkers.
You're like, oh no.
All going, all but one going two-handed.
Yeah.
And like, actually, you know what? I'm going to do a Heroic Defence.
Yeah. It just gives you. It's a lot. I mean, it's not guaranteed that they're not going to roll a 6, but it just gives you that chance.
It makes it harder.
Yeah, it just gives you that chance for it to keep them alive.
And usually, in that instance, they're going to be doing more wounds than you have in total.
Yeah.
So keeping the might for a fate,
yeah,
you might as well spend it on this and reduce it as much as possible.
Yeah.
The next new one is Heroic Strength. A hero model who declares they're using Heroic Strength as D3 to their strength characteristics for the duration of the fight phase. This cannot increase the hero model strength above 10. Note, this bonus is applied before any other effects affect model strength, such as the Wither magical power. So if you go up D3 and then whatever Wither does, minus D3.
I'd be interested to see who gets that.
Yes.
When I read that, the first thing that popped into my mind, it was like, oh, it's piercing strike at the cost of a might point with no negative.
Yeah.
Which we all know how powerful piercing strike is.
Yeah.
It can be devastating. So that is a really good rule.
Yeah.
And I don't think there'll be a lot of heroes with it.
No.
I think it'll be
going up
selected.
to strength 7 as a minimum.
Yeah.
Is pretty nice.
You're going to do some damage with that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then probably my second most favourite one. Yeah. Heroic Challenge. This just screams Lord of the Rings to me.
Yeah.
A hero that is in base contact with an enemy hero of the same heroic tier or higher, spoilers, we'll get onto that later, may declare a heroic challenge. If an enemy hero accepts a challenge, all other models that are part of the same combat, including supporting models, may not roll dice for the dual roll, provide their fight value to the fight, or make strikes if their side wins the fight. From this point on, both hero models involved in heroic challenge must charge each other, if able to do so, until one of them has been slain. Other models may not charge either of the heroes, either the hero models involved in the heroic challenge. Whichever hero is successful in slaying their opponent, and so they must be the one to cause the final blow, will immediately gain D3 might points, and this can take them above their starting level.
That's cool.
If the challenge is declined, then any heroic actions called by the declining hero will not affect other friendly models until the hero who's issued the challenge is slain. 1v1 me, bro.
Yeah, that's cool. I think a lot of people, because when it went up, I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and there was positive and negative. But the fact that, so I think the thing that people have not cottoned onto is you get the big heroes can't go around the board just taking out the little heroes.
Yeah.
He's got to be of equal tier or higher that you make the challenge to.
Yeah. So the little heroes can go around and challenge all the big heroes, but they're probably going to lose and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Plus, I wouldn't expect those little heroes to have their own challenge.
No. I think this is something that you do when you've got your opponent's hero. Maybe they've took a wound or two.
Yeah.
You know, they're on the back leg.
Yeah.
Just get him in there, smash him up, and get D3 might back.
D3 might.
Happy days.
It's nice. Obviously, I probably wouldn't charge someone who has heroic strike.
No.
Because that's challenge me. All right, I'm going to boost my 5 value by D6.
It doesn't say there. I'm assuming if you decline the heroic challenge, I get the penalty for declining it. It doesn't cost you a point of might or anything to decline it.
That is interesting. I would still think it does because they've got this heroic action scored by the decline hero not affect other friendly models. I guess that'd be one to get clarification on.
Yes.
Oh look, first rules query.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm generally not sure.
If anyone does have an inkling on that, comment below, or the powers that be, comment below.
Yes, I'm sure it will pop up on the GBHL page before long.
Yeah. Like I say, it doesn't say, and as is, I think it's still fine. But I just think
that would come down to
there maybe should be I know there already is a slight penalty to declining.
Yeah.
They can't call with me and stuff. But does it cost?
It costs a might point.
Might point.
I guess for now.
Makes sense.
I guess for now you'd play it as it still costs you a might point because you still get something out of the action.
Yeah.
I guess whenever we get our first FAQ, that'll probably be in there.
Because you could just decline the challenge.
Yeah.
And keep declining it, and it's using their might because they're trying to make the challenge.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to find out what
I look forward to seeing the clarification on that one. And then there's just a little bit about unique heroic actions. So some heroes might have their own special heroic action, and that'll be in their profile.
Yes.
Obviously, we don't know about that because we haven't got a profile book.
No.
This is one of my. I like this bit, although it might come into the magic section. So heroes still have Might, Will, Fate. Casting is still the same. They still have to say how many dice they're rolling.
Yeah.
Resisting isn't the same, but we'll get onto that when we get to magic. Obviously, passing courage.
Yeah.
Fate is fine.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
So they have cleared up multiple wounds. So or crist. Basically anything that does D3 wounds. You take your fate first.
Yes.
So if something is do D3 damage, you take one fate, and then you see if you pass it, you're great.
Yeah.
If not, then
so if you inflicted D3 wounds on me before you roll how many wounds it actually is, I roll for that blow.
Yeah.
And if I save myself from that blow, it's irrelevant.
That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Which I think is good.
Yeah. I've played that both ways.
So as the rules stand currently, obviously before this book, there's profiles that do it both ways.
Yeah.
Thryden does it before Fate.
Yeah.
Knight of the White Tower does it after Fate.
Ah.
I think Orcrist does it after Fate.
Right.
And obviously you've got is it Chill Soul? No, Black Dart that does D3.
Right.
I think that's after Fate as well. So Thryden is the exception there that does it first.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was weird.
Yeah.
Brawl power attacks. So from my reading, Rend has stayed the same.
There's nothing wrong with Rend.
Nothing wrong with Rend.
It's a great rule.
It's a great rule. Handy. Worth noting that you can't get double Rend attacks if you knock someone down. You literally just make your strikes.
I think that was in one of the FAQs.
It wasn't in one of the FAQs.
Last year.
Yeah.
Or the year before even.
Yeah, I can't remember when. There's been a lot. It also clears up monsters and cavalry. So monster models are not affected by knock to ground special rule when they're charged by a cavalry model. Cavalry being bold, so anything that has cavalry in their profile obviously applies to this.
Yeah.
However, cavalry models will still get the extra attack bonus from charging a monster. That's the infantry keyword, and will still gain the bonus for charging with a lance if they are also armed with one. A monster that has a rider, such as a fell beast, is also classed as cavalry.
Yes.
Just clearing that. It makes it, rather than having monstrous creature, I think cavalry is just a nice keyword to have that is riding them out.
Yeah. Right.
So we go on to the double page of Pearl.
Ooh, it's changed a bit.
It's changed a little bit.
And for the better, I think.
Yes, no longer are you going to see monsters just bowling over lines. So the biggest difference is the first bullet point, and it's roll a d3, not a d6, and add the difference to strength as it is now. So you're only going difference to strength plus d3.
Yeah.
And the second change is also in the second bullet point, which is handy. So you draw an imaginary line that runs through the centre of the model space and the centre of the model that's being hurled, going directly away from the monster. This is the direction of the hurl.
I think that's the most important change.
That is the most important change. No longer can you sweep them from the side. You have to just go away. Straight back.
A lot of people will say, "Oh, that's broke the rule" and things like that. But I think what that does, it makes you have to be more thoughtful and a more skilled player in where you position your monster into the hurley.
Yes.
Because you can still get the line that you want, but you've got to charge that base at a certain point to get that line.
Yeah.
You can't just go, I'm going to hurl him that way or hurl him that way. It changed last year or the year before about you couldn't hurl back through your own base.
Yeah.
But this is.
I still remember the first time I played Mr. J. Clare, and he had Bjorn, and he ran up to my line of nice ranked dwarves and just went swat. And I'm like, "Can you do that?" He's like, "Yes, you can." I'm like, that doesn't seem fun. Just run into my line and hit him sideways.
Yeah.
Everything else in hurl is the same. Obviously, strength through hit, strength 6 hits if you hit obstacles. The final bullet point is interesting. After a hurl has been completed, the combat immediately ends, so no further strikes or brutal power attacks may be resolved. So if you do want to, let's say you're hurling Aragon or someone, you want to hit him, and you've got some orcs there, you want to hit him first, but make sure you don't kill him.
Yes.
And then you can hurl a weaker Aragon away. Whereas if you hurl him first, you're not going to get.
You've wasted the orcs attacks. Yeah.
Yes. I'm just going to read Barge because I didn't actually read it. I don't think it's changed.
Sam.
I know. I was all excited.
Only half fee now, Sam.
Yeah, that's fine.
Half a brew.
Half a brew. Let's go down and drink tea. So from the brief skim, again, it's not changed. Still back away 3 inches, even supporting spear or pike arm models.
Yeah.
In a direction chosen by the monster's model controlling the player. If you can't go back, you place prone as it is. And again, it's got the same caveat as hurl. So after a barge has been completed, the combat ends and no further strikes or power attacks, which I think makes sense.
Yes.
And the monster still moves d6.
Yeah.
And they get to fight again. And again, stipulates you can't use a barge in a heroic combat fight.
Yeah.
Which is nice and cool. War beasts. Now, this kind of, I think it only covers 2 models that we know of currently, which is the Mummak and the Grey Beast.
Grey Beast, yeah.
Maybe the Catapult Troll.
That's
Maybe. I can't remember if that clarified, if that in Tabo, if that is a war beast.
It could be. I think it's going to be a while before we see that anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be this year.
Yeah. So I would assume that there won't be any Mummak rules in the book. They've standardised it, which again, most of it is the same.
Yeah.
The War Beast normal riding it always pass carriage tests for being broken.
Yeah.
And a War Beast counts as 2. You've got the commander and the actual beast itself. But
would that be in the sense of like counting up for your breakpoint?
Counting up for breakpoint. Yeah. Obviously, any models in the Howder would still count as an additional model.
Yeah.
But you don't count it as one like you would for a horse.
Yes. Yeah.
However, with the exception being when you kill the Mummak or the Great Beast, that counts as 1. When you kill the commander, that also counts as 1.
Yeah.
So you counts as 2, which will annoy Gimli to no end. Because when you kill a cavalry model, you have to kill a horse and a rider to make 1 in your dead pile.
Right.
Which was added in one of the FAQs recently.
Right.
If you know how to play Mummak, it's not changed.
Yeah. Never played a Mummak.
Never played a Mummak. I played it a couple of times.
I've played again once.
Yeah.
Didn't have a clue how they worked. I played Mr. Dan Entwistle, Mr. Mummak himself.
Right.
At an event at Slayer Gaming.
Right.
One of them early events.
Yeah.
Still wet behind the ears. I had quite a lot of things, and I remember looking at it and thinking, he's only got that.
He's only got Mummak.
This is a win.
Is that where he's come on a whole ground and stomped over an entire
I charged him, and he just like threw poisonous stones at me or something. And I was like, what? Oh well, you win.
Yeah. They have clarified that War Beast models may not use brute power attacks, which I think makes sense.
Complete sense, yeah.
Because it stops the can I barge and trample.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I don't think. I mean, they're not sort of monsters of their own mindset.
No.
They're being controlled by a commander. It's not, you know.
Yeah, and I know some people might say, but you see the Mumak, knocking for a hand. I'd say that's that trample.
Yeah, that's the trample. Yeah.
They have got the Smaug rule, which is immovable object.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be knocked prone, can't be held, can't be trapped, never backs away.
Yeah.
The exception being if you have two war beasts in combat with each other, the bigger one the smaller one backs away.
Yeah.
So Smaug will push back a Mumak, the Mumak will push back a Great Beast.
Yeah.
If it's two Mumaks or two Great Beasts, then you roll the dice.
Yeah.
And one of them backs away.
Yeah.
And it seems that war beasts now, all war beasts stampede.
Right. Okay.
Which means, again, if they give the Great Beast Gorgoth, which I expect them to, the war beast keyword, you can now make that stampede.
Right.
Which I think is quite funny.
Yeah, it's cool.
Stampede hasn't changed. Stuff you've got to take courage test for every wound, as you do now. You can take it off the table, and you can your opponent gets to control it.
Yeah.
Which could be quite funny.
Yeah, and it's a nice thematic rule.
Yeah. These, as you say, these beasts here. There's only so much pain they can take before they stop obeying who's riding on their back and goes, no, I'm off. I've had enough.
Not hard, but they are wild beasts.
Yes.
Yeah, so they will run.
So the next section is weapons and war gear.
Mm-hmm.
There are some small changes in here. Obviously, special strikes have changed.
This is new.
Yep, this is new. So they've categorised the weapons. So you've got single-handed weapons, two-handed weapons. They've not changed. We've also got hand and a half weapons, which the simplest way of doing it, it's the old Elven Blade rule. You can choose to go one-handed or two-handed.
Which is cool.
So the example they've given is Elrond with a hand and a half weapon, so I'm guessing Elven Blade's a hand and a half.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a cool little thing they put in.
Yeah, I like
that. Special strikes. So yeah, obviously they are quite contentious in, I think it's actually on that page, which is odd, it has a whole section on special strikes and then puts it a page later. I'm sure they have some very good reasons for that.
Yeah.
So again, if you've got a visible hand weapon, you can use the special strikes.
Yeah. And I think they're going down the route which just clarifies things as it's in your profile what you carry.
Yes.
So none of this, it doesn't state what Reavers have, so they've got a sword and an axe.
Yeah, so in the book that comes in the box, the Warriors of Rohan have sword and axe.
Yeah.
So you can give your Warriors of Rohan swords or axes.
Yeah.
And
but whatever they're modelled with on the table is what they've got. So
Yeah.
you can't say, oh, in the profile it says sword or an axe. He's got a sword, but I'm going to use an axe.
Yeah.
It's got to be on the model.
It's got to be on the model.
Yeah.
Spears haven't changed, with the exception of you can only spear support the same size base or smaller.
Yeah.
So no goblins backing up Smaug.
Or Mordor trolls.
Mordor trolls backing up orcs. However, let's say Smaug could have a spear, he could back up a Mordor troll.
Yeah. Spears are one of them things where it's only as later in my SBG life kind of realised that actually spears are really, really good.
Yes.
Really good.
Yes.
Because for that point, which most of the time they are, you're getting an extra attack in a combat, plus 9 times out of 10 you're behind your pals, so you can't get hit.
Yeah.
Whereas if you charge them both in,
Yeah.
based on attacks, and you're fighting a hero who's got double attacks or whatever, or more than 2 attacks, they can both die.
It's what I'll often do is, if I'm trying not to die, it's like, well, I'll charge one in and then the spear support.
Yeah.
Especially in someone like Aragorn or a multi-attack hero. It's like, I could give you these 2 guys, but it actually makes no difference to me, because they both get to make a strike.
When I was making my Angmar army, I think I gave all the Angmar orcs shields and spears. And the reason I did it was because I got so used to playing with Goblin Town and shooting hordes, and it was just cool to be able to go, let's go. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it on my arms.
Yeah, that's fair. It clarifies up at the bottom of the spears that you can spear support two-handed model, model arm with a two-handed weapon, and prone models.
Yeah.
Which I didn't say in the last one.
Which is good.
You've got war spears, which haven't changed. There's a spear and a lance, depending whether you're on foot or mounted. Pikes haven't changed. They've still got the -1 penalty to dual rolls if you... Oh no, I think that might be new. Let us know. So due to the fact that a pike requires use of 2 hands to use effectively, a model armed with a pike that is also equipped with a shield, bow or crossbow suffers -1 penalty to dual rolls. I think that might be new.
So if it's just a pike, he's fine.
He's fine.
But if you're carrying...
So all those people who...
That meta.
The pikes and crossbows, A, shame on you, and B, you're now going to lose all your fights.
Yeah.
I think if that is new, that's a cool rule.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So if it's not new, shame on you for not -1 when you were playing against me.
Yeah, it must be new.
Yeah, I think that is new, and yeah, it makes complete sense again.
And again, it has to be 2 pike models supporting. You can't have the spear sandwich where it's model spear.
You used to be able to do that, didn't you?
Back in the One Ring rules.
Yeah, so you could have like sword, spear, pike.
Yeah, but now it has to be sword, pike.
Yeah.
Elven made weapons. I think they've renamed it just because obviously you got like glamdring and swords like that. Exactly the same as it is.
It's the Elven Blade rule.
It's the Elven Blade rule.
Yeah.
We've got a new one. Master Forged weapons. Models using a Master Forged weapon do not suffer the -1 penalty to the dual roll for using a tiny weapon.
Which is ka-ching.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'd imagine something like Durin's Axe.
Yeah.
We'll probably get that rule just to clean up the wording, so rather than have to put Durin's Axe doesn't suffer the -1, they can go Master Forged. Durin's Axe is Master Forged.
I mean, we don't know because we've not seen the cover. I get the impression that there'll be the odd spattering of one, but I think anything that's got a name. So I mean, that rule with Andro would be
that would be
devastating.
Very nice.
I mean, it may not be, but
wish listed.
That would be awesome. Andro 2-handed without the penalty.
Yes, but then doesn't Andro state you always win on the 4+?
Would that then go to 3+?
I guess we'll find out.
We're just making rules up.
Lances haven't changed. Staff of power has been clarified, so it's a 1.5-hand staff, so you can either bop on the head with 1 hand or you can do it 2-handed. Still gives out the 3 point of will. The whips haven't changed.
No.
And then there's a whole section on changing the weapons on a model, which people have been crying out for since probably the Hobbit rulebook was first released.
Yeah. Well, since people started being filth bags.
Yeah, putting axes on
Reavers
and wood elves.
Reavers is the wood elves.
And Galadriel.
Who was that?
That's on ETC. I can't remember who it was. Yeah. So there's a whole bit about we know you like to do conversions. So if a warrior or unnamed hero model has one of the following weapons modelled onto it, then it may exchange that type of weapon for another type from the same list at the extra cost of 1 point for warrior and 5 points for a hero. The list is axe, club, dagger, flail, hammer, mace, maul, pick, staff or sword. You can only swap a weapon for one of the same class. For example, a single-handed sword for a single-handed mace, not a 1.5-hand or 2-handed weapon. And then it gives us some examples of points. Models that have been converted to wield more than one different type of weapon must decide which type they'll use before the game starts.
So they can never special strike, like they could never feint then piercing strike, as an example.
Yeah, so
it's one or the other.
Yeah,
for the whole game.
If you've got your warriors of Minas Tirith with a whole weapons backpack on their back, you have to choose one, which I think makes sense. And paying a point is good because it doesn't invalidate any of those conversions. It just makes you pay a little bit more, and the fact that they've specified unnamed heroes means we're not going to see Aragorn with an axe, Galadriel with an axe.
It's like Captain.
Yeah, Boromir with a hammer. Doesn't make sense. And then we go on to special strikes, which I thought would have been a page back, but whatever. We'll start with the exciting one everyone wants to know, piercing strike. A model armed with an axe or pick can opt to make a piercing strike. If their side wins the fight, increase that model's strength by 1 when they strike. If their side loses the fight, reduce the model's defense by D3 when strikes made against it. So they've got rid of D3, it's now 1 D3, which makes that, in my opinion, infinitely less broken.
Yeah, because piercing strike was always a rule that, for me, I've played against it, I've played with it, and it's either like won the game for me, but it's also lost the game when I played against it. I think that just makes it far better.
Yeah,
far better.
It reduces. You also don't have strength 6 hobbits running around.
Yeah.
That was always really, not I guess upsetting, but it always irked me when hobbits would run up and be stronger than all my dudes. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Stun has changed. again, another one that really likes me as a Smaug player. So all the negatives are the same, so you still attack, fight value 1, attacks 1, shoot 6 until the end of the turn. However, it now only goes off on a 5+, or a 6 if you're a monster. So no more hobbits running up to my poor Smaug, booping on the nose on a 4+ and making him useless for the rest of the game. I really like that change.
Yeah.
I think you won't see it as much because it's not as reliable.
Yeah.
But it makes more sense.
Yeah, completely.
I like that rule. Whirl hasn't changed.
Okay.
So you still hit everybody in the fight, but your fight value 1.
Yeah.
Bash hasn't changed. You can still knock people off, so you get +1 if you've got a 2-handed weapon.
Yeah.
And it's clarified up that if you've got more, so one of my tactics with my Erebor list was to have all my dwarves with hammers, with spears behind.
Yeah.
The front guy knocks them down, the spear guy stabs them twice. Yeah. That's clarified that you can do that.
Cool.
And then feint or stab.
I like this.
Which is daggers or swords. A model armed with a dagger or sword who has an equal to or higher fight value at the start of the fight than their opponent, including any sport models, may opt to feint. Yep. So you now can't feint if you lower.
Yeah. So none of that. Well, I may as well feint.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah, that's gone. If they do so, they reduce their fight by D3. We're working out who wins the fight. If the fainting model side wins a duel roll, they may roll any to wound rolls of 1. So in essence, hasn't changed except you have to be higher.
That's cool.
A model armed with a dagger or sword who has a lower fight value at the start of the fight of their opponent may opt to stab. If they do so, they may reroll 1s to wound, fairly standard. However, due to the reckless abandon with which a stabbing model tends to throw themselves at their enemy, if their side loses the duel roll, then they will suffer 1 strength 2 hit immediately after the fight has been resolved. So if your goblin stabs and he loses the fight, he might kill himself.
Yes.
Or might just die. Yeah. Which I like. It shows off the more gritty fighting style of those. Say worse units. Your goblin shouldn't be a master swordsman and fainting around. He's literally just going to try and shank you. Yeah. And people like Aragorn or Théoden and whatnot can just easily get out of the way and cut them down.
And it's cleared up I think the thing that's jumping out, there's nothing now, whereas there was things that sort of with no risk.
Yeah, well, goblins are the prime example.
Yeah.
In the Hobbit book, they in essence gain poison weapons. Yeah. Because it's like, well, I'm fight 2, I go down to fight 1, I'm never ever not going to faint. Whenever I was playing my goblin army at the start of the game, I'd be like, so all my goblins are fainting, unless I say otherwise. Yeah. That's some pretty decent, big changes there. Yeah. Obviously with piercing strike, feint and stun.
Yeah, I think they'll change.
All for the better.
Oh yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
All for the better. I hated having stunned monsters. We've got a bit on bows, crossbows. They've not changed. Throwing weapons. These have changed. Again for the better, and something that the community have been kind of asking for. Yeah. So ask and you might receive. When you charge in, you no longer suffer the -1, which is to throw your weapon, which makes sense because if you're running in that close, you're not going to miss. No. I think we could see quite a few throwing weapon. Yeah. Or the units that have throwing weapons come back. Your rider around with throwing spears. Yeah. Your goblin prowlers. Wood elves with throwing daggers.
Throwing daggers, yeah.
Wood elves with throwing daggers.
Dwarves with
Iron Guard. Yep. Dwarf rangers. Throwing weapons don't count towards army's bow limit, so it's really just the whole -1 bit that's changed about those guys.
Yeah, which it needed to.
Yep, we've got a bit of blowpipes, a bit of slingshots. Again, they've not changed from the Hobbit rulebook. No. There's a whole chart of all the weapons.
There's a couple of new ones, isn't there?
There is a couple of new ones, so the one at the bottom, Urukai bow, nice. 18 inches, strength 3.
Strength 3.
It's not bad.
So Lurtz
is going to have a strength 3 bow.
Which is cool.
Yep.
He's not renowned in SBG for his bow where he is in the movies.
He takes down Boromir.
Yeah.
At that point Boromir didn't have a shield, so it would be defense 5. So he still needs 5 instead of 6s now to win him.
He still takes a few shots.
He still takes 3 shots because he's got 3 wounds.
Yeah.
Have you watched the movies and gone, that's a wound he passed his fate, that's a wound he passed his fate, he found his fate there. Or is it just me?
It's just, yeah.
there's some. So you've got orc bows, you've got long bows, you've got an Escaroth bow.
Yeah.
A lot of them is just renaming, I think. So when you look at a profile, you know, I guess it seemed a bit silly for a warrior of Dale to have an elf bow.
An elf bow, yeah.
So you know, the long bow and Escaroth bow is exactly the same. The elf bow is exactly the same.
All the ranges? Are all the ranges the same?
All the ranges are the same. The blow pipe's still 12. Cool. Most of your bows are still 24, except for your orc bow. I'm guessing short bow might be a hobbit one, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
You also got the dwarf bow, which hasn't changed.
The Uruk bow is only 18.
Yeah, the Uruk bow is only 18 inches, which makes sense. It's not quite as good.
Yeah, it's like big heavy arrows, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like big thick things.
Throwing weapons and throwing spears are still strength 3 and 6 and 8 respectively.
Yeah.
Banners, I don't think banners have changed that much.
I don't think they need to, do they?
No.
Is there anything about the line of sight? I asked that question because I meant to check it and forgot, and I was reading the Battle Company's book.
Models cannot benefit from the effects of a banner if the banner is prone, which I think that was taken out in the Hobbit book because I had it pop up at Articon.
Yeah.
You
can still pass it on.
Yes.
So there's nothing about line of sight?
No. No, but obviously if it's prone you can go line of sight.
Yeah, no, I was only asking because in Battle Companies, you literally have to have line of sight, so if there was...
If the banner is behind,
you don't get the benefits, but obviously...
Maybe you know it's there. Like my banner's around somewhere, I'm going to fight harder. You still get the -1 and you still get to pass the banner.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. We'll go back in a minute on the subject of banners.
Okay.
Elven cloaks. A model wearing an elven cloak has to stalk unseen special rule. Wonder what that does, we'll find out later in the video.
Yeah.
War drum. At the start of the move phase, a model with the war drum may declare their standing advance. When this happens, they get all the usual benefits. Still can't charge with the war drum. War horns stay the same, +1 courage.
Yeah.
While you have a horn on the battlefield. The One Ring. Now, in terms of the core rules for the One Ring, not changed.
It seems to be less.
I think
they've just been
tidied up, condensed, smaller font. But there is a new bit called My Precious, and this is in essence a ladder of when you're in a match play and you've got some of these models, who gets the ring. Right. It's a hierarchy table. So at the top is Sauron for obvious reasons, at the bottom is Gollum, Sauron, Isildur, Bilbo, so young Bilbo we should say, Frodo, old Bilbo, Gollum. So if I'm playing Sauron and you've got Isildur, I get the one ring, you don't get it.
Yeah. I was never in that situation. Was that never a thing? Could you have 2 rings on the table at once?
It was never clear of what the order was. Right. I think in Isildur's profile in the King's of Men book it would say if no one else has the one ring you may take it.
Yeah. And
I think in old Bilbo's it had words to that effect.
Right.
But this just clarifies it.
Yeah.
Because it's also if what about if we both play Numenor, who has the ring?
Yeah.
And it has clarified that. So if you both have the ring and you're both the same tier, so both Isildur or both Sauron, then you both get it, but one's a fake. And the winner gets the real one.
Okay.
There's a whole load of bits on armour. So you've got armour, heavy dwarf armour, all the same as what it is in the current book. Shields haven't changed, which is nice. I don't think they needed to. It clarifies up shields and bows and crossbows and whatnot. And you still got a hand and a half or a two-handed weapon. Or sorry, if you use a hand and a half weapon as a two-handed weapon while carrying a shield, you lose the +1 bonus.
Okay.
So if you're high elf with shield and elven blade, you can go two-handed, but for that fight you'll be defense 5.
Yeah.
Which is a nice rule. You sling it, you go, I'm going to swing hard, or you go, actually I'll draw that and fight one-handed.
I like the fact that it's making you think a lot more.
Yeah.
It is going to take some learning, I think.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of, can I do this, or can I do that?
Yeah.
I could do it in the last edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. Cavalry models can't shield still. Makes sense, they're too busy riding horse.
Yeah.
Pro models still can shield. And then we're into magic. Now before we go into magic, I'm going to go back to heroes just quickly, because there is a very important table. It might be I said nothing changed in the fight phase. I might have lied. Yes. So going back to the fight phase, there's now a timing chart, which is really handy. Step 1, gather a number of dice using a different colour dice for each model with modifiers on might. Declare any special strikes or two-handed attacks. Roll the dice. Apply any modifiers to the dice roll, so +1, -1. Use any re-rolls, ban and special rules. Use might when I make strikes. So that is a nice, clear, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. So you have to, it's the same as it is now, it's just up. So you have to use might before you banner. Sorry, you have to use the banner.
You can't just go, oh, I'm going to hurl him that way or hurl him that way. It changed last year or the year before about you couldn't hurl back through your own base. But this is
I still remember the first time I played Mr. J. Clare, and he had Bjorn, and he ran up to my line of nice ranked dwarves and just went swat. I'm like, can you do that? He's like, yes, I can. I'm like, that doesn't seem fun. Just run into my line and hit him sideways. Everything else in hurl is the same. Obviously, strength through hit, strength 6 hits if you hit obstacles. The final bullet point is interesting. After a hurl has been completed, the combat immediately ends, so no further strikes or brutal power attacks may be resolved. So if you do want to, let's say you're hurling Aragon or someone, you want to hit him, and you've got some orcs there, you want to hit him first, but make sure you don't kill him.
Yes.
And then you can hurl a weaker Aragon away. Whereas if you hurl him first, you're not going to get.
You've wasted the orcs attacks.
Yes. I'm just going to read Barge because I didn't actually read it. I don't think it's changed.
Sam.
I don't know. I was all excited.
Only half fee now, Sam.
Yeah, that's fine.
Half a brew.
Half a brew. That's good. Don't drink tea. So from the brief skim, again, it's not changed. Still back away 3 inches, even supporting spear or pike arm models. In a direction chosen by the monsters model controlling the player. If you can't go back, you place prone as it is. And again, it's got the same caveat as hurl. So after a barge has been completed, the combat ends, and no further strikes or power attacks, which I think makes sense.
Yes.
And the monster still moves d6. And they get to fight again. And again, stipulates you can't use a barge in a heroic combat fight. Which is nice and cool. War beasts. Now, this kind of, I think it only covers 2 models that we know of currently, which is the Mummak and the Grey Beast.
Grey Beast,
Maybe the Catapult Troll. Maybe. I can't remember if that clarified, if that in Tabo, if that is a war beast.
It could be. I think it's going to be a while before we see that anyway. I don't think it'll be this year.
So I would assume that there won't be any Mummak rules in the book. They've standardised it, which again, most of it is the same. The War Beast normal is running it always pass carriage test for being broken. And a War Beast counts as 2. You've got the commander and the actual beast itself. But
would that be in the sense of like counting up for your breakpoint?
Counting up for breakpoint. Obviously, any models in the Howder would still count as an additional model. But you don't count it as 1 like you would for a horse. However, with the exception being when you kill the Mummak or the Great Beast, that counts as 1. When you kill the commander, that also counts as 1. So you counts as 2, which will annoy me to no end. Because when you kill a cavalry model, you have to kill a horse and a rider to make 1 in your dead pile, which was added in one of the FAQs recently. If you know how to play Mummak, it's not changed.
Never played a Mummak.
Never played a Mummak. I've played it a couple of times.
I've played against once. Didn't have a clue how they worked. I played Mr. Dan Whistle, Mr. Mummak himself, at an event at Slayer Gaming. One of them early events. Still wet behind the ears. I had quite a lot of things, and I remember looking at it and thinking, he's only got that.
He's only got Mummak.
This is a win.
Is that where he's come on a whole ground and stomped over an entire
I charged him, and he just like threw poisonous stones at me or something. And I was like, what? Oh well, you win.
They have clarified that War Beast models may not use brutal power attacks, which I think makes sense.
Complete sense,
because it stops the can I barge and trample. I'm okay with that.
I don't think. I mean, they're not sort of monsters of their own mindset. They're being controlled by a commander. It's not. I
don't know. Some people might say, but you see the Mummak, knocking for a hand. I'd say that's that trample.
That's the trample,
They have got the Smaug rule, which is immovable object. So it can't be knocked prone, can't be held, can't be trapped, never backs away. The exception being if you have two war beasts in combat with each other, the bigger one the smaller one backs away.
Yeah.
So Smaug will push back a Mumak, the Mumak will push back a Great Beast.
Yeah.
If it's two Mumaks or two Great Beasts, then you roll a dice.
Yeah.
And one of them backs away.
Yeah.
And it seems that war beasts now, all war beasts stampede.
Right, okay.
Which means, again, if they give the Great Beast Gorgoth, which I expect them to, the war beast keyword, you can now make that stampede.
Right.
Which I think is quite funny.
Yeah, it's cool.
Stampede hasn't changed. You know, stuff you've got to take courage test for every wound, as you do now. You can take it off the table, and you can your opponent gets to control it.
Yeah.
Which could be quite funny.
Yeah, and it's a nice thematic rule.
Yeah, you know, as you say, these beasts here, you know, there's only so much pain they can take before they stop obeying who's riding on their back and goes, no, I'm off. You know, I've had enough.
At the heart of it, they are wild beasts.
Yes.
Yeah, so they will run.
So the next section is weapons and war gear. There are some small changes in here. Obviously, special strikes have changed.
This is new.
Yep, this is new. So they've categorised the weapons. So you've got single-handed weapons, two-handed weapons. They've not changed. But you've also got hand and a half weapons, which the simplest way of doing it, it's the old Elven Blade rule. You can choose to go one-handed or two-handed.
Which is cool.
So the example they've given is Elrond with a hand and a half weapon, so I'm guessing Elven Blade's a hand and a half.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a cool little thing they put in.
Yeah, I like that.
Special strikes. So yeah, obviously they are quite contentious in, I think it's actually on that page, which is odd, it has a whole section on special strikes and you can see a page later. I'm sure they have some very good reasons for that.
Yeah.
So again, if you've got a visible hand weapon, you can use the special strikes.
Yeah. And I think they're going down the route which just clarifies things as it's in your profile what you carry.
Yes.
So none of this, it doesn't state what Reavers have, so they've got a sword and an axe.
Yeah, so in the book that comes in the box, the Warriors of Rohan have sword and axe.
Yeah.
So you know you can give your Warriors of Rohan swords or axes.
Yeah.
And
or whatever they're modelled with on the table is what they've got. So
Yeah.
you can't say, oh, in the profile it says sword or an axe. He's got a sword, but I'm going to use an axe.
Yeah.
It's got to be on the model.
It's got to be on the model.
Yeah.
Spears haven't changed, with the exception of you can only spear support the same size base or smaller.
Yeah.
So no goblins backing up Smaug.
Or Mordor trolls.
Mordor trolls backing up orcs. However, let's say Smaug could have a spear, he could back up a Mordor troll.
Yeah. Spears are one of them things where it's only as later in my SBG life kind of realised that actually spears are really, really good.
Yes.
Really good.
Yes.
Because for that point, which most of the time they are, you're getting an extra attack in a combat, plus 9 times out of 10 you're behind your pals, so you can't get hit.
Yeah.
Whereas if you charge them both in
to
the base contact, and you're fighting a hero who's got double attacks or whatever, or more than 2 attacks, they can both die.
It's what I'll often do is, you know, if I'm trying not to die, it's like, well, I'll charge one in and the spear support.
Yeah.
Especially with someone like Aragorn or a multi-attack hero. It's like, I could give you these 2 guys, but it actually makes no difference to me because they both get to make a strike.
When I was making my Angmar army, I think I gave all the Angmar orcs shields and spears. And the reason I did it was because I got so used to playing with Goblin Town and shooting hordes, and it was just cool to be able to go, let's go. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it on my arms.
Yeah, that's fair. It clarifies up at the bottom of the spears that you can spear support two-handed model, model arm with a two-handed weapon, and prone models.
Yeah.
Which you didn't say in the last one.
Which is good.
You've got war spears, which haven't changed. So it's a spear and a lance, depending on whether you're on foot or mounted. Pikes haven't changed. They've still got the -1 penalty to dual rolls if you... Oh no, I think that might be new. Let us know. So due to the fact that a pike requires use of 2 hands to use effectively, a model armed with a pike that is also equipped with a shield, bow or crossbow suffers -1 penalty to dual rolls. I think that might be new.
So if it's just a pike, he's fine.
He's fine.
But if you're carrying...
So all those people who...
That meta.
The pikes and crossbows, A, shame on you, and B, you're now going to lose all your fights.
Yeah.
I think if that is new, that's a cool rule.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So if it's not new, shame on you for not minusing one when you were playing against me.
It must be new.
Yeah, I think that is new, and yeah, it makes complete sense again.
And again, it has to be 2 pike models supporting. You can't have the spear sandwich where it's model spear.
You used to be able to do that, didn't you?
Back in the One Ring rules.
Yeah, so you could have like sword, spear, pike.
Yeah, but now it has to be sword, pike.
Yeah.
Elven made weapons. I think they've renamed it just because obviously you got like Glandring and swords like that. Exactly the same as it is.
It's the Elven Blade rule.
It's the Elven Blade rule.
Yeah.
We've got a new one. Master Forged weapons. Models using a Master Forged weapon do not suffer the -1 penalty to the dual roll for using a tiny weapon.
Which is ka-ching.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'd imagine something like Durin's Axe.
Yeah.
We'll probably get that rule just to clean up the wording, so rather than have to put Durin's Axe doesn't suffer the -1, they can go Master Forged. Durin's Axe is Master Forged.
I mean, we don't know because we've not seen the cover. I get the impression that there'll be the odd spattering of one, but I think anything that's got a name. So I mean, that rule with Andrew would be
that would be
devastating.
Very nice.
I mean, it may not be, but
wishlisted.
that would be awesome. Andrew on 2-handed without the penalty.
Yes, but then doesn't Andrew state you always win on the 4+?
Would that then go to 3+?
I guess we'll find out.
Are we just making rules up?
Lances haven't changed. Staff of power has been clarified, so it's a hand and a half staff, so you can either bop on the head with one hand or you can do it 2-handed. Still gives out the 3 point of will. The whips haven't changed.
No.
And then there's a whole section on changing the weapons on a model, which people have been crying out for since probably the Hobbit rulebook was first released.
Yeah. Well, since people started being filth bags.
Yeah, and putting axes on
Reavers.
and wood elves.
Reavers is the wood elves.
In Galadriel.
Who was that?
That's on ETC. I can't remember who it was. Yeah. So there's a whole bit about we know you like to do conversions. So if a warrior or unnamed hero model has one of the following weapons modelled onto it, then it may exchange that type of weapon for another type from the same list at the extra cost of 1 point for warrior and 5 points for a hero. The list is axe, club, dagger, flail, hammer, mace, maul, pick, staff or sword. You can only swap a weapon for one of the same class. For example, a single-handed sword for a single-handed mace, not a hand and a half or 2-handed weapon. And then it gives us some examples of points. Models that have been converted to wield more than one different type of weapon must decide which type they'll use before the game starts.
So they can never special strike, they could never feint and then piercing strike, as an example.
Yeah, so
it's one or the other.
Yeah,
for the whole game.
If you've got your warriors of Minas Tirith with a whole weapons backpack on their back, you have to choose one, which I think makes sense. And paying a point is good because it doesn't invalidate any of those conversions. It just makes you pay a little bit more. And the fact that they've specified unnamed heroes means we're not going to see Aragorn with an axe, Galadriel with an axe.
It's like Captain.
Yeah, Boromir with a hammer. Yeah, doesn't make sense. And then we go on to special strikes, which I thought would have been a page back, but whatever. We'll start with the exciting one everyone wants to know, piercing strike. A model armed with an axe or pick can opt to make a piercing strike. If their side wins the fight, increase that model's strength by 1 when they strike. If their side loses the fight, reduce the model's defense by D3 when strikes made against it. So they've got rid of D3, it's now 1 D3, which makes that, in my opinion, infinitely less broken.
Yeah, because piercing strike was always a rule that, for me, I've played against it, I've played with it, and it's either like won the game for me, but it's also lost the game when I played against it. I think that just makes it far better. Yeah, far better.
It reduces. You also don't have strength 6 hobbits running around. That was always really, not I guess upsetting, but it always irked me when hobbits would run up and be stronger than all my dudes. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Stun has changed. Again, another one that really irks me as a Smaug player. So all the negatives are the same. So you still attack, fight value 1, attacks 1, shoot 6 until the end of the turn. However, it now only goes off on a 5+ or a 6 if you're a monster. So no more hobbits running up to my poor Smaug, booping on the nose on a 4+ and making him useless for the rest of the game. I really like that change. I think you won't see it as much because
Yeah.
it's not as reliable.
Yeah.
But it makes more sense.
Yeah, completely.
I like that rule.
Mhm.
Whirl hasn't changed.
Okay.
So you still hit everybody in the fight, but your fight value 1.
Yeah.
Bash hasn't changed. You can still knock people over, so you get +1 if you've got a 2-handed weapon.
Yeah.
And it's clarified up that if you've got more, so one of my tactics with my Erebor list was to have all my dwarves with hammers, with spears behind.
Yeah.
The front guy knocks them down, the spear guy stabs them twice.
Yeah.
That's clarified that you can do that.
Cool.
And then feint or stab,
I like this.
which is daggers or swords. A model armed with a dagger or sword who has an equal to or higher fight value at the start of the fight than their opponent, including any support models, may opt to feint. Yep. So you now can't feint if you lower.
Yeah. None of that. Well, I may as well feint.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah, that's gone. If they do so, they reduce their fight by D3 when working out who wins the fight. If the fainting model side wins a dual roll, they may roll any to wound rolls of 1. So in essence, hasn't changed except you have to be higher.
That's cool.
A model armed with a dagger or sword who has a lower fight value at the start of the fight of their opponent may opt to stab. If they do so, they may reroll 1s to wound, fairly standard. However, due to the reckless abandon with which a stabbing model tends to throw themselves at their enemy, if their side loses the dual roll, then they will suffer 1 strength 2 hit immediately after the fight has been resolved. So if your goblin stabs and he loses the fight, he might kill himself.
Yes.
Or might just die.
Yeah.
Which I like. It shows off the more gritty fighting style of those, say worse units. Your goblin shouldn't be a master swordsman and fainting around. He's literally just going to try and shank you.
Yeah.
And people like Aragorn or Théoden and whatnot can just easily get out of the way and cut them down.
And it's cleared up I think the thing that's jumping out, there's nothing now, whereas there was things that sort of with no risk.
Yeah, well, goblins are the prime example.
Yeah.
In the Hobbit book, they in essence gain poison weapons.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I'm fight 2, I go down to fight 1, I'm never ever not going to faint. Whenever I was playing my goblin army at the start of the game, so all my goblins are fainting, unless I say otherwise.
Yeah.
That's some pretty decent, big changes there.
Yeah.
Obviously with piercing strike, feint and stun.
Yeah, I think they'll change.
All for the better.
Oh yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
All for the better. I hated having stunned monsters. We've got a bit on bows, crossbows. They've not changed. Throwing weapons. These have changed. Again, for the better, and something that the community have been kind of asking for.
Yeah.
So ask and you might receive. When you charge in, you no longer suffer the -1,
Which is
to throw your weapon, which makes sense because if you're running in that close, you're not going to miss.
No.
I think we could see quite a few throwing weapon.
Yeah.
Or the units that have throwing weapons come back. Your riders are around with throwing spears.
Yeah.
Your goblin prowlers. Wood elves with throwing daggers.
Throwing daggers, yeah.
Wood elves with throwing daggers.
Dwarves with
Iron Guard, dwarf rangers. Throwing weapons don't count towards army bow limit, so it's really just the whole -1 bit that's changed about those guys.
Yeah, which it needed to.
We've got a bit of blowpipes, a bit of slingshots. Again, they've not changed from the Hobbit rulebook.
No.
There's a whole chart of all the weapons.
There's a couple of new ones, isn't
There is a couple of new ones. So the one at the bottom, Urukai bow,
Nice.
18 inches, strength 3.
Strength 3.
It's not bad.
So Lurtz,
Lurtz is going to have a strength 3 bow.
which is cool.
Yep.
He's not renowned in SBG
No.
for his bow, where he is in the movies.
He takes down Boromir.
Yeah.
At that point, Boromir didn't have a shield, so it would be defense 5.
Mm.
So he still he needs 5 instead of 6s now to win him.
Still takes a few shots.
He still takes 3 shots because he's got 3 wounds.
Yeah.
Have you watched the movies and gone, that's a wound he passed his fate, that's a wound he passed his fate, or he found his fate there? Or is it just me?
It's just, yeah.
There's some, so you've got orc bows, you've got long bows, you've got an Escaroth bow.
Yeah.
A lot of them is just renaming, I think. So when you look at a profile, I guess it seemed a bit silly for a warrior of Dale to have an elf bow.
An elf bow, yeah.
So the long bow and Escaroth bow is exactly the same. The elf bow is exactly the same.
All the ranges? Are all the ranges the same?
All the ranges are the same. The blowpipe's still 12.
Cool.
Most of your bows are still 24, except for your orc bow. I'm guessing short bow might be a Hobbit one maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
You also got the dwarf bow, which hasn't changed.
New York bow is only 18.
Yeah, the Euroco bow is only 18 inches, which makes sense. It's not quite as good.
Yeah, it's like big heavy arrows, aren't they?
Yeah.
Big thick things.
Throwing weapons and throwing spears are still strength 3 and 6 and 8 respectively.
Yeah.
Banners, I don't think banners have changed that much.
I don't think they need to, do they?
No.
Is there anything about the line of sight? I asked that question because I meant to check it and forgot, and I was reading the Battle Company's book.
Models cannot benefit from the effects of banner if the banner is prone, which I think that was taken out in the Hobbit book because I had it pop up at Article.
Yeah. You can still pass it on.
Yes.
So there's nothing about line of sight?
No. No, but obviously if it's prone you can go line of sight.
Yeah, no, I was only asking because in Battle Companies, you literally have to have line of sight, so if there was...
If the banner is behind,
you don't get the benefits, but obviously...
Maybe you know it's there. Like my banner's around somewhere, I'm going to fight harder. You still get the -1 and you still get to pass the banner.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. We'll go back in a minute on the subject of banners.
Okay.
Elven cloaks. A model wearing an elven cloak has to stalk unseen special rule. Wonder what that does, we'll find out later in the video.
Yeah.
War drum. At the start of the move phase, a model with the war drum may declare their standing advance. When this happens, they get all the usual benefits. Still can't charge with the war drum. War horns stay the same, +1 courage.
Yeah.
While you have a horn on the battlefield. The One Ring. Now, in terms of the core rules for the One Ring, not changed.
It seems to be less.
I think
they've just been
tidied up, condensed, smaller font. But there is a new bit called My Precious, and this is in essence a ladder of when you're in a match play and you've got some of these models, who gets the ring. Right. It's a hierarchy table. So at the top is Sauron for obvious reasons, at the bottom is Gollum, Sauron, Isildur, Bilbo, so young Bilbo we should say, Frodo, old Bilbo, Gollum. So if I'm playing Sauron and you've got Isildur, I get the one ring, you don't get it.
Yeah. I was never in that situation. Was that never a thing? Could you have 2 rings on the table at once?
It was never clear of what the order was. Right. I think in Isildur's profile in the King's Men book it would say if no one else has the one ring you may take it. Yeah. And I think in old Bilbo's it had words to that effect. Right. But this just clarifies it. Yeah. Because it was also if what about if we both play Numenor, who has the ring? Yeah. And it has clarified that. So if you both have the ring and you're both the same tier, so both Isildur or both Sauron, then you both get it, but one's a fake. And the winner gets the real one. Okay. There's a whole load of bits on armour. So you've got armour, heavy dwarf armour, all the same as what it is in the current book. Shields haven't changed, which is nice. I don't think they needed to. It clarifies up shields and bows and crossbows and whatnot. And you've still got a hand and a half or a two-handed weapon. Or sorry, if you use a hand and a half weapon as a two-handed weapon while carrying a shield, you lose the +1 bonus. Okay. So if you're high elf with shield and elven blade, you can go two-handed, but for that fight you'll be defense 5. Yeah. Which is a nice rule. You sling it, you go, I'm going to swing hard, or you go, actually I'll draw that and fight one-handed. I
like the fact that it's making you think a lot more. Yeah. It is going to take some learning, I think. Yeah,
I think there's going to be a lot of, can I do this, or can I do that? Yeah. I could do it in the last edition. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get there. Cavalry models can't shield still. Makes sense, they're too busy riding a horse. Yeah. Pro models still can shield. And then we're into magic. Now before we go into magic, I'm going to go back to heroes just quickly, because there is a very important table. It might be I said nothing changed in the fight phase. I might have lied. Yes. So going back to the fight phase, there's now a timing chart, which is really handy. Step 1, gather a number of dice using a different coloured dice for each model with modifiers on might. Declare any special strikes or two-handed attacks. Roll the dice. Apply any modifiers to the dice roll, so +1, -1. Use any re-rolls, banners, special rules. Use might when it makes strikes. So that is a nice, clear. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. So you have to. It's the same as it is now. It's just up. Yeah. So you have to use might before you banner.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have to use the banner before you use might.
Yeah.
Because I know a few times I've played games where it's like, oh, I'll spend a might point. Oh, I'll banner. Oh, I got a 6.
Yeah.
But no, can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to do banners first. Right, back to magic, which is going to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, here. So how you can use magic is the same as who can you target, range of line of sight,
Yeah.
all that jazz. Again, you can use it at the start of the move, during the move, end of the move. You can use it for charge. It's all clearing it up.
Yeah.
A model that's already engaged can't use magic power, as we all know. How you cast magic power hasn't changed. Declare your amount of will. Roll them. If you get beat target number, great, the spell goes off.
Yeah.
Now, what is really exciting, and I'm very interested to try this out, is how you resist magic powers. I don't know if you've read this bit.
I've not read this bit.
Okay. So for each war point spent, the defending player rolls d6 in their resist test. If any of the dice equal or beat the casting roll, the model resists the power and there is no effect. Note, the player must choose how many war points to expend before rolling any dice.
Oh.
Hero models may use might to increase the score of resist test. Now this is where the fun begins. What's around? So if when making a resist test, any of the dice rolled from spending will points rolls a natural 6, the hero immediately regains that point of will. Note the natural 6 with 3 points of will, such as resist to magic, fought by spirit, hero, resolve, do not confer this effect. Now, I love this rule.
That's a good rule.
Yes, it's a natural 6, but there'll be that time when you're down to Aragorn's last will point and your opponent rolls a 6 to resist, and you go, well, I guess I'll throw my 1 dice at it. That's a 6. I get my will point back.
Yeah.
So in War of the Ring, every model can resist on a 4+ if you spend a point of might.
Okay.
And as long as you've got might, you can keep resisting. I always like that. There's always some degree of magical resistance.
Yeah.
And having this little sentence here,
yeah,
just gives you. I don't think it's going to come up often.
No.
But if it comes up in that key moment, when you need to stop someone getting resisted, getting transfixed or sat willed, that could be game changing.
Yeah.
I look forward to trying it out.
It is a cool rule.
I have a feeling that most people will start throwing more will to try and hit that 6, rather than going, well, you've rolled a 4+, I'll just roll 1 because they'll go, well, if I throw a 2 at it, I might roll a 6.
I've resisted it in essence I've rolled a 1.
Yeah. And trying searching, go fishing for that 6.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting to see, as more games are played in tournaments, see if that actually makes a big difference. It clarifies up if you're hit indirectly by magic, so Sorcerer's Blast, obviously you don't get to resist, it's not targeting you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bit on resisting powers with no target. Some powers don't have a specific enemy target. Magic powers that do not affect enemy models cannot be resisted unless specified otherwise. So you can't stop or command.
Yeah.
So resisting powers with multiple targets, it's as it is now, you pick one model in range to resist. If a channel power increases the number of models, so I guess that would be Chill Soul, it obviously targets one model, and if you channel it, it goes to within 3, then that changes, from that target being able to resist to anybody within the bubble being able to resist.
Yeah, so even though, let's just say, Aragorn was targeted, but Boromir's in there, and Boromir's got will and Aragorn hasn't.
Yeah, Boromir has one single will point, he can attempt to resist.
And roll a 6
and get it back and laugh at Sauron. They've now given every magical power a duration. So you've got instant, temporary and exhaustion. Instant is as it says in the tin, it does it and it's gone. Temporary goes till the end of the turn, and exhaustion is until you've got 0 will points.
Cool.
Which I think will just clarify, clear up the spells, the magical power list.
I think that a lot of them we kind of all sort of know. Anyway.
They introduced it slightly in the Hobbit book. This is now just
making it clear.
sense.
On the going back to the heroic resolve.
Yes.
If you're in a heroic resolve bubble,
Yes.
and you're a hero and you're out of will,
Yes.
and you get that 1 dice.
So
Any you roll a 6.
No, so any dice that are conferred by 3 points, such as resist to magic,
right, okay.
resolve, fortify spirit, you have to roll them separately.
Right.
So if you was rolling 2 dice and one of those was resistant to magic,
Yeah.
you'd differentiate that dice.
So a different colour or
Different colour, different, yeah. You only get the will back
from
your store.
Right.
So you have to spend it to be able to get it back.
Yeah, cool.
Magic powers. Now, I don't think we can go through all the magic powers because there's an awful lot of them.
Yeah. Should we just touch on the new ones?
We can touch on some new ones.
Or maybe is there any new channeled effects that jump out at you?
So a lot of the channel ones we already know about.
Yeah.
It's only really the new spells. I guess Cool Winds would be one that's now got a channeled effect. So instead of going D6 away, you go 2D6 away.
Yeah.
I still laugh if you roll a double 1. We've got a spell called Blessing of the Valor.
Yeah.
So this is basically the opposite of Curse. You can get a fate point back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is handy.
Yeah.
I don't see it being cast all that often. It's like Renew. Renew on paper is a really good spell, giving back wounds, but just nobody casts it because there's always something better you can be doing.
Yeah.
If you channel it, it's D3 Fate.
Yeah.
We've got one called Collapse Rocks.
Yeah. I think it's going to be very, very
situational, depending on the board.
Yeah.
So this power targets one enemy model within range. This power may only cast on a model that is within a ruin, stone or brick building, cave, rock pile, or other similar piece of terrain. Now, that could cause some potential issues. I guess
does it say in or not saying base contact with?
That is within a ruin.
Within
a ruin.
So if this is the house and I'm here touching on the outside, I'm not within. I have to literally be within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or another similar piece of terrain where a wizard could crack rocks either underfoot or overhead. The target suffers 1 strength 5 hit, and if you channel it, everybody within 2 inches.
Yeah. So they could crack rocks if you were in base contact with a.
Yeah. I think there would have to be a certain degree of common sense.
Yeah.
If you're standing next to a building and the wizard decides to blow it up, all that debris is going to fall on you.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've seen Curse, Command Compel. We will touch on Command Compel.
Okay. Yes.
So Command Compel, Transfix and Immobilize have changed. I really like it. So target one enemy model within range. The caster may move up to half. You cannot force the target to jump, leap, climb, dismount, lie down, but you can take in difficult terrain and you can charge an enemy. No, you don't take courage test to charge terror cause an enemy, so it can even force an unengaged victim to drop an object, but not war gear. That's key, because I have a lot of people at tournaments ask me if I can make them drop a banner. Nope, just an object that it's holding, so the prize, seize the prize, elements range past, or put on the one ring if they have it. Once it's finished the move, can't move any further. Finally, the target suffers the effects of the immobilized transfix magic power, which we'll get onto because it's on the next page. If you channel it, additionally, while this power is in effect, the target will halve their fight and attacks characteristics running up and may not strike if they win a duel. Now, that's interesting, having not looked at immobilized transfix yet. So, if you command Aragorn and you've not, it seems like you're just moving him.
Yeah. So
I think what we'll do
is because it wasn't it. It used to get that anyway.
Yeah.
So he basically was transfixed. He was always harder to cast.
Yeah.
And it was transfixed, but you got to move him. Yeah. Basically.
So we'll look at immobilized transfix because that seems pretty key.
Yeah.
This power targets one model within range. Blah blah blah. While it's in effect, the target may not move except to back away, shoot, cast magic powers, declare heroic actions, call a stand fast, or use active abilities and may not strike if they win a duel. So I guess the phrase there would be, it's had enough. If you immobilise Aragorn, he's still fighting. Obviously, he just can't strike, but he's not suffering any penalties with his fight value. He's not suffering any penalties with his attacks. Basically, you root him to the spot. He can still swing at you.
Yeah. He can defend himself.
He can defend himself. Yeah. And again, channeled while this power is in effect, you'll halve your fights and attacks characteristics.
I like that.
I think we're going to see some bigger heroes now. With the change to resisting, with the change to immobilise transfix, I think we're going to see those bigger heroes coming back out to play.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, tournament scene anyway, because friendly games are friendly games and use what you want to use, but tournament scene to see more Aragorns or to see more Boromirs, more
Imrahil, Gothmog.
Gothmog, yeah. Gothmog's amazing.
Yeah.
But you never see him.
No.
Because there's better evil characters out there.
Yeah. And why would you take Gothmog when you could take a Felbeast? Well, now, depending on what's changed in the profiles, you might actually want to take Gothmog.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. That'd be awesome.
We've got Enchanted Blades, which is a cool rule. Allows you to reroll failed win rolls.
Nice.
Flame Burst has got a really cool channel effect. So the target instead suffers the effects of Set Ablaze special rule. You know, I'm trying to think who has Flame Burst. It's only Kardash at the minute.
Kardash, unless someone gets it.
Yeah.
Who would you give it to?
I mean, going by the movies, Saruman.
Saruman, yeah.
Maybe Sauron for the sole reason of he incinerates Gogolad.
True.
So he obviously has that fiery power.
Yeah.
So maybe he would get that.
Yeah.
It seems like quite an evil rule.
And it was going to be in the movies and they cut it.
Yeah. But, you know, I don't think you're going to see Gandalf or Galadriel shooting fireballs.
True.
Maybe Smaug.
Yeah.
Could be. That might be something.
Well, yeah, it'd suit his profile perfectly, wouldn't it? I mean, does he need anything else in his profile?
Going on to a third sheet.
Here's another cool rule.
Yeah. Fury has got you now need the keyword, so it's Fury X, where X is the keyword. So here you've got a Mordor Hawk Shaman cast Fury Mordor Hawk. It wouldn't benefit Angmar Hawks or Isengard Hawks.
That's cool.
I'd assume the same as.
Does that mean that my Goblin Town Shamans are now useless?
Probably. I'd imagine it'll be Moria Goblin Shaman.
Yeah. I think I took advantage of that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. There's a couple of other cool rules. I'm not going to go into what they do, but we'll give you some, because everyone's going to get this, but we want to keep some surprises.
Yeah.
There's a spell called Instill Fear. There's a spell which I think was spoiled on the blog, or I know it was certainly spoiled at Ardacon, Protection of the Valar.
Yeah.
I really like that. You know, I hope someone like Gandalf has that, or Galadriel.
Yeah.
You know, goes actually Rumil, Boromir, whoever, you're immune to special rules this time. You've got Refreshing Song, which is what Tom and Goldberry have. That has a channel effect. So maybe an indication as to how their profiles might change.
Yeah.
The channel effect is you recover all lost wounds rather than just one, which is bonkers.
Yeah. That's not going to be one you see on a lot of profiles. No. That's a lot.
Actually, we'll go back to Fury, because this is one that people will be quite key about.
Yeah.
So Fury as it is now is you cast Fury, you pass Courage test, you get a 6 up, fate save, and if you channel it, it's on a 5+. Well, they've split those first two bits. So now, if you cast Fury, you automatically pass Courage tests.
Yeah.
That's it. You now have to channel it to get the 6 up fate save.
So there's no 5 up.
There's no 5 up. Obviously, whether somebody, well, Groblog does it now. Whether he still has that effect remains to be seen. But yeah, so you now have to channel Fury to get the 6 up, which will hopefully mean you might not see as many Shamans.
No.
Unless you desperately want them for the courage.
Yeah. I mean, they're still
good.
Fury in itself, passing courage checks
in
that 6-inch bubble is still something pretty awesome to have in your army, especially if you know your goblins and your low courage.
Low courage. Just being able to pass courage tests is pretty nuts.
I mean, we got to the point, didn't we, in the old rules where there was a lot of things that were used. Yeah, they were all because they were just used to the point where they could break other people's armies.
Yeah.
You know, being able to charge as many goblins as you want into a Felbeast.
Yes.
Or an eagle.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy because you would be scared.
Yeah, I mean, you can still do that now. Obviously, if you do, you know, but I like that they split it.
Yeah.
And I don't think
it was too much on it for one rule.
Yeah, you know, you got your little 5-point goblin, you know, and they're just not dying because you have that game where your dice are hot and.
That's what I was trying to say. So if you trap a Felbeast.
Yeah.
And he wins the combat.
And none of them die.
And none of them die, and that well, not Felbeast because he can fly, but another, bigger creature, he's still trapped, he still can't get past, he's still got a charge, and then you back in again, and so that's gone, which is brilliant.
Paralysed still has a channel effect, so it'll be interesting to see if anybody who has the Paralysed spell has a might point, because Barrowwet don't currently.
Miracle's fine, what is it?
No. We've got a spell called Shroud of Shadows. You want me to tell you what that is?
No. A lot of the, I mean, there's big clues in what they're called.
Yeah. I think that's it. So all the special rules that are in various people's profiles. So we've got Wither in here, Wrath of Brunnen, Shatter.
Yeah, because these were all on profiles rather than
in the book.
Yeah.
Sap Will, target loses D3 will points, not D3 plus 1.
Yeah.
That was always a big bugbear of mine. Is you're always guaranteed to lose 2 will. Is why do you ever resist it?
Yeah.
Challenge is D6. So pretty much changed. Jay did say at Ardacon that it would probably be harder to cast.
Yeah.
So
which again it should be because
it should be on a 3+. It's ridiculous. And you've still got Renew, Sorcerer's Blast, Strength and Will. All year stand. They've not got rid of any magic powers.
No.
And that's magic.
Yeah.
We then come to special rules.
Yeah.
Now a lot of these rules will be in the Hobbit book, but what they've done is they've split them into active and passive. And if you remember back to Transfix, it states you can't do active special rules.
Yeah.
So something like Bane of Kings, this model must reroll all failed to wound rolls when making strikes close combat as an active. So, you know, basically does it require you to do something?
Yeah.
Whereas Ancient Evil is a passive one. So you're always terrifying whether you're stuck, immobilised or whatnot. There's some cool rules in here. We've got Ancient Enemies, which I think we see in the Hobbit. I think it's in the Hobbit book. It's not on many models. Blood and Glory is one of my favourite new rules. I think it's a new rule. If it isn't, Amdo has it in its profile. If this model kills an enemy hero in a fight, they immediately regain a single point of might spent.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Are there any other new ones here? Don't think so.
No.
So
that's just
Fleet Foot is cleared up. We've also got Fell Sight, which is cleared up.
Yeah.
A model with this Fell Sight, a model with this special rule does not need line of sight to be able to charge. Additionally, they may target models with the Stalk Unseen special rule and a penalty. So if you've got an Elven Cloak or you have Stalk Unseen, doesn't stop you from the evil Fellwarks.
Yeah, I can smell it.
Yeah. Fleet Foot, this is one that comes up quite often, is can my Rivendell Knights go through woods, because they have a wooden creature but the horse doesn't. A model that has this special rule, and the wooden creature special rule will also apply the effects of wooden creature to their mount. Nice and simple.
Yeah.
Horse Lord, this is quite a fun one, I'm not sure if you've seen this. While this model is mounted, they may choose to expend their own fate points to prevent wounds caused to their mount.
Nice.
So no more leggy, auto hitting, someone's horse.
It gives you a chance to keep it.
If you really want to keep your horse, you can spend your fate points.
And sometimes that'd be well worth it.
Yes. Master of Battle hasn't changed. What it has said is sometimes what you need to activate Master of Battle has changed, so it'll be Master of Battle brackets 5+ or Master of Battle brackets 4+.
Cool.
Depending on how good you are, I guess.
There's different tiers to Master of Battle.
Yeah. Mighty Blow. I think this might be Thryden's old rule, because I definitely remember Mighty Blow being in the Hobbit book.
Yeah, it is.
Free strike that successfully wounds in close combat. This model inflicts 2 wounds rather than 1. So going by what we read earlier in the fate section, so you do your 1 wounds.
You'd fake it first.
Yeah.
And if you're a multi-wound model,
I would probably want some clarification on that just to clear it up, because what is successfully wounding? Is that going through fate, or is that just rolling a wound?
I get what you mean on that, but going off what we've read before, I would say that you'd take the fate.
I think people will read it both ways, so that'd be a good one for an FAQ. Obviously, Mighty Hero, we know about that, hasn't changed. 3 point of might. I mean, only Aragorn has it currently. Maybe someone else will get it, who knows. That was the same. So there's quite a few pages of special rules. Monstrous Charge. This is basically the old Monstrous Cavalry special rule. This is not changed. It's basically taking it out of like the old Monstrous Cavalry section and putting it into a special rule.
Which makes sense.
Makes sense, and it's also very clear, your Fell Beast or your Dragon will have Monstrous Charge. No more easy over Strength 6 or any of this nonsense. You've got Shield Ball, which we know from the Iron Hills Dwarves. +1 defence if in basic contact.
Jay let us all know that
Minister have that, which
is cool.
It could be very interesting. Stalk unseen. Now this has been referenced to a couple of times in the book already. It's the old Elven Cloak special rule, slightly changed. If a model with this special rule is partially concealed from view by a piece of terrain, they cannot be seen at all at distances of more than 6. They appear to melt into the background. This means enemies cannot charge, shoot, or target with magic powers or special rules at range of greater than 6 unless they have a completely clear view of the target, and if you're riding a horse, it doesn't count. So they've changed that from just being obscured, so you have to be obscured by terrain. So again, Leggy and the Wosies can't hide behind their friends. They actually have to stand behind a wall or a tree or something, which makes more sense for Elven Cloak. You know, in the movies when Frodo uses it that one time, he blends it with the rocks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
He's not hiding behind the sand going, oh look, you can't see me.
Yeah. It ties it up. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
And it stops people sort of using that rule.
Yeah.
The wrong way.
Yes. You know, say hiding behind other models.
Yeah.
To basically mean you can't target them.
Yeah.
Some of the ones like Survival Instinct from the Dragon have been brought in here, obviously condensing down the profile so it's not full of duplicated information.
Yeah.
You know, all the special rules you expect to see. That unyielding combat stance from Amdur is in here, so maybe we might see that on a few other people. I think it's on the Hasharan as well.
It's a cool rule.
It's a cool rule. And again, they're all stated next to whether active or passive, so there's no grey area. Advanced rules. So this is your extra fun bits. You have to agree with your opponent.
Yeah.
So you've got rules for shallow water, deep water. That's not changed. Carrying objects hasn't changed. It's all as you'd expect it to be. You've got rules for heavy objects, passengers, sentries. I'm pretty sure most of this has probably been copy and pasted.
Yes.
Because it doesn't need to change. I don't think it gets used enough where you know, it's something that people go, oh, why are the passenger rules like this?
Yeah, they're just scenario specific, aren't they?
Yeah. And then we're on to siege engines. So they've split siege engines and sieges into their own two separate bits.
Okay.
Probably, I'm not quite sure why. Probably just because they could.
Well, siege engines are not specific just to
sieges. Yeah, that's probably why.
People bring them in with their armies, don't they?
Yeah.
To good effect sometimes as well.
Yes. Again, it's not changed. You know, we probably flick through this section. They have specified the target types.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, under siege targets, they've not included Smaug. So I'm guessing that's because he's a flying dragon. So battlefield targets are infantry models, cavalry models, monster models, doors, small siege engines. Siege targets are large gates, the Mummak, houses, boats, large siege engines. I probably would expect to see Smaug in the siege target because he's so big.
Yeah, because I mean you could argue.
Well, he's a monster.
He's a monster.
If he has the monster keyword, then he's a battlefield target. I'm sure they probably thought about that. So yeah, makes the what's it called? What bard fires?
Oh. The
Windlance.
Windlance.
Makes the Windlance slightly harder to fire, but I guess you know he fires it with a broken bow and a shattered tower. So yeah, this hasn't changed.
Scatter tables are still
Scatter table is exactly the same. Yeah, as it is, they've still got the volley fire rule for catapults.
Yeah.
Also worth noting, the volley fire is not back in for shooting. That's gone. That is. I saw a few people on the GHL going, I wonder if they put volley fire back in. Everyone was like, no, there's a reason it's gone.
I never played the game when volley fire was allowed. I was sort of late to the game, but I mean everything I've read was that it totally.
My first ever tournament, which was the Heroes of Middle Earth tournament, February 2012. I had about 60 goblins.
Yeah.
And it was 20 shield. It was the weekend that Warbands was released, so it was the last hurrah to legions.
Right.
And I had 20 goblins with shield, 20 goblins with spear, 20 goblins with bow. The bowmen stood at the back and just volley fired.
Yeah.
And I think as Mick said on the Facebook page, they are shy elves. It needed to go, and I'm glad it's gone.
Yeah.
There's a nice bit of art with all the catapult trolls.
That's nice.
I think Jay ran out of words.
That's a big picture.
Yeah.
Big trolls.
It's a cool picture. It's got a bit on deploying siege engines. It's got a little bit here. A siege engine may never hold an objective in scenarios that require models to be within certain range. So you can't just have your Gondor Trebuchet controlling an objective.
Cool.
The dudes have to be there.
Yeah.
It's got a bit about demolition charges.
Yeah.
They've not changed.
All the same, yeah.
Yeah. And then your box standard siege engine upgrades. You've got all the ones you've got now. You've got your captain, your flaming ammunition, your severed heads, superior construction. Although now they've changed that, so it's only an extra 12-inch range rather than going to 96 inches.
Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous.
Sit on land with that ever.
Yeah. I can't even reach into the middle of a board that's 96 inches long. And then obviously troll for your Mordor siege catapult. And then it's got a whole bit on sieges. They've not added anything in. It's the same as it is in the Hobbit.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone complain about it. They
No.
weren't used that much.
I think it definitely had in the Hobbit bit in the Hobbit book. What they basically said was here are some cool rules, but go nuts.
Yeah.
Like if you want to add in rules for blowing up walls, go for it.
Yeah.
It's all moving around the fortress, moving up and down stairs,
Yeah.
battering around siege ladders. As this is a small skirmish game.
Mm-hmm.
Their rules don't need to really fit a siege, I don't think. So yeah, that's that done. We then get into the narrative play section. So there's 3 ways of playing Lord of the Rings, as there is for 40k and AOS. You've got narrative, you've got open, and you've got matched.
Yeah.
Now I think what a lot of players will play is match play.
Yeah.
All tournaments will be match play. Narrative play is basically playing scenarios.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous bit for me.
Yeah, and it's got some extra little bits. So it's got you have to use the right participants.
Yeah.
Some of the scenarios will have special rules that contradict some of the bits that might be in the rulebook.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically balance the scenarios through these special rules.
Yeah.
And again, they clarify that when you're playing a narrative game, you don't break.
Yeah.
Nobody runs away in a narrative game because you don't see the Warriors of Minas Tirith running away halfway through, or the Rise of Rohan and they get trampled on. They don't run away. They keep charging.
You're playing out cool scenes from the films or from the books.
And I'm looking forward to getting some narrative play.
I love narrative play.
I'd imagine there'll probably be some on this channel.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So it's just a page on narrative play. Doesn't need many more than that. Open play. So for those of you who don't know, open play is literally turn up and use whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Even says here, want to ally together your Rohan army with your Mordor orcs? Well, you can. I'm not sure many people will. But this is for the people who go, well, I've not really got an army, I just want to play some games.
Yeah.
You don't have to abide by war bans, you don't have to abide by special weapon strikes.
Mm-hmm.
This is just do whatever you want, which is a nice option to have.
2 pals.
Yeah.
Getting the models around, just having a run through the rules basically.
This is how I used to play, back in 2003.
Yeah.
Me and my friend would just go around his house. He had this massive castle, and we would just make our own rules up.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most fun I've ever had when it comes to playing games. So yeah, obviously got open play. Don't need to say much more on that. And then match play, which I think everyone is going to be playing the most. That's what everyone plays now.
Yeah.
You got your points values. Interestingly, it says here that a battle will typically be around the 600 point mark, or 600 points to 1,000 points.
Yeah.
So I think currently at the minute most tournaments are around the 750, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, I like around 650 plus for the simple reason that it lets you bring the big cool stuff.
Reading this again, they've actually differentiated 3 points values. So you've got a skirmish, which is about 400 points per side.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a battle, which is 6 to 1,000. Then you've got all-out war, which is 1250 plus. So it says here, an all-out war game can take a long time. Many will last the whole day, or for the biggest, maybe even an entire weekend.
Mm.
Having made I think it was a 12 by 8 board in my lounge and done 10,000 points aside, you do a turn and then you're bored.
Yeah.
Never again. Obviously, still in match play, you got your army composition rules. So you've got the warband rule, captains, followers. Again, it's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
War gear and bow limit. Rule of 1, you can't have 2 arrow runs. Again, pretty much the same
as
it
was
is now. It does have a bit on objective markers. So GW recommend 25mm objective markers. I think probably for the GBHL will still be 25 to 40 as long as everything's the same size.
A lot of them's a cab based size.
Yeah,
and it's nice to have it.
It's interesting they recommend 25mm markers because the ones you get in the General's accessory pack are bigger than 25mm. They're like a weird like 27, 28. Heroic Tears. Now I'm sure if you have played The Hobbit, you're like, well, why can my Goblin hero lead the same amount of troops as Aragorn? We're glad to know that's gone.
Yeah.
There are now 5 heroic tiers, so we'll start at the bottom and work up. Tier 5 is independent heroes. Independent heroes may not lead troops as they are, may not be the army's leader. They may, however, be included in another hero's model's warband as one of their followers.
Was that always the case?
No.
That's interesting.
That's changed.
Yeah.
You know, the example they've given is Grima, so you could take Grima with Saruman, I guess, or with Urukai. I'm guessing he's still got his horrible rule.
Yeah.
Tier 4 is minor heroes. Minor heroes may lead up to 6 followers in their warband. However, they may not be the army's leader. The example they give here is Eowyn. You know, so she can lead a few dudes or a few warriors, but that's it. Heroes of Fortitude. Heroes of Fortitude may lead up to 12 followers in their warband. So your standard guys. They've given Narzik as the example here. I'd expect to see probably generic captains as Heroes of Fortitude. Tier 2, Heroes of Valour. Heroes of Valour may lead up to 15 followers, so we're getting bigger in their warbands. Obviously the stipulation about not being the leader is gone, so from tier 3 upwards any of those can be your leader, with the exception of what we'll get to in a minute. They give Tariel as the example of the Hero of Valour.
It's that minor hero, sort of second level heroes.
Yeah, your heroes who are your named heroes who are kind of integral to the story, but they're not the out and out leaders. And then we've got tier 1, Heroes of Legend. Heroes of Legend may lead up to 18 followers in their warband. Additionally, if a Hero of Legend is your leader, they gain the Last Stand special rule. Last Stand, the first time a model with this special rule takes a courage test as a result of your force being broken, they will pass the test automatically. So, and they give an Aragorn or King Elisar as the example model. So, to break the Gondor force, Aragorn passes his courage test straight away. He gets his stand fire straight away. Keeps the guys fighting as they should. Yeah, you know.
I like that. Yeah. I've been part of too many games where that first courage check.
He's had his will sapped and he go double one. And you're like, oh, same with 300-point model off then. Whereas now he's going to pass. He's going to stick around a little while longer.
Yeah.
The leader. Once you have selected all warbands from your force, you will need to indicate which one of your hero models is the leader of your army. The leader will automatically be the hero model that has the highest heroic tier in your army. So no more taking Aragorn and making captain number 7 your leader. If 2 or more models in your army are tied for the highest heroic tier, then you may choose which of them will be the army leader. Your army must have a leader. I like this. Yeah. You know, none of them you're going to have Saruman hiding behind Brasku, or sending in a goblin. Having Goblin King at the back as your Goblin Captain. Yeah. Goblin King smashes.
Yeah. Because people do that a lot. Tournament players especially. You want your big fighty stuff. Your 3 mighty heroes in there fighting, killing things.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to be your leader just in case he does lose a fight.
Jay himself said at Ardacon he took an army where he had Fellbeasts and Gorbag. And Gorbag was his leader when no way in Middle Earth would Gorbag ever tell a ring wraith what to do.
No.
Army bonus. If your army consists entirely of models from a single army bonus, then the army receives its own unique army bonus. Each army bonus is listed in the book, so again, when we get the books. We saw some example army bonuses at Throne of Skulls last year. Whether they've stayed the same, changed, who knows? We'll find out when we review the book.
It's going to be really interesting.
Note that, unless otherwise stated, the army bonus will only come into effect as long as your force only contains models from a single army list, although certain alliances will allow for forces to keep their army bonuses, which is on the next page. Adding allies, so like you can now, you can pick from different factions, obviously good and evil. However, each allied contingent must have at least 1 hero model in it. I don't think there's any way you can bring in an allied warband that's not heroes.
No, unless some warbands don't need
Possibly.
a hero.
Yep.
Is Felwargs one of them?
Currently it's in the Denizens of Mirkwood, yeah.
Yeah,
Currently.
Felwargs.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't, in this instance, unless anything has been given
Changed.
that rule,
Yeah.
also Felwargs now wouldn't be able to ally in without.
Yeah. I would imagine if we got to that book, there'd be a thing that would allow you to bring them.
Yeah.
Who can ally? Fairly standard. Good with good, evil with evil.
Yeah.
And then we get on to this delicious page. I don't know how well they can see that in the light. It is the Alliance Matrix,
Which I really like.
which is something they've tried, or that they've got in, or they had in 7th edition 40k.
Right.
Who can ally with who, and there's a degree of alliance. So you've got historical allies, which is green. These are armies that have fought together in the books, in the movies. So Rohan and Minas Tirith.
Yeah.
But interestingly, in the Evil Armies Alliance Matrix, there is only 2 army bonuses, which is the Serpent Horde and Mordor and the Serpent Horde.
Yeah.
So if you are a historic ally, you get to keep your army bonus.
Yes.
So if you're taking Rohan and Minas Tirith, both forces will get their army bonus.
Not across the whole army. So the Minister side will get their bonus, and
Yep.
the Rohan side will get their bonus.
The next one is Convenient Allies, which is yellow. So these are armies that were around about the same time. So you could hypothetically say that, let's just find one here, Rivendell could ally with the Garrison of Dale.
Yeah.
It's not likely, but they were around at the same time, so they are convenient allies. Convenient allies lose their army bonus, but suffer no further effects.
So you bring them, you just lose your army bonus.
But sometimes it might be worth that trade-off of bringing your army of Dale into Rivendell. Don't know why you would.
Yeah. Well, certain warriors might work well.
Yeah.
With another faction, you might think, well, I prefer that than the army bonus.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're losing 2 army bonuses is a big.
You've got to weigh it up. And then we've got Impossible Allies, which is red. So there are some armies that simply do not coexist. Isildur has been dead for over 3,000 years by the time of the War of the Ring. It does not make sense for him to be leading a Minas Tirith force, or riding alongside Minas Tirith or the Dale, or the army of Thror. Impossible allies lose their army bonus, as you do in yellow. Additionally, all models may only benefit from heroic actions or the standfast special rule if they were called by a hero from the same list.
Nice.
So let's say you take your all hero list of Aragorn, Isildur, Elendil, Glorfindel. The heroic actions only benefit each one of those.
Yeah. No with me.
Can't call with me.
No. Heroic combat's only the one that called it.
Yep.
Can move on.
Yep. Like this seems to be Games Workshop's way of trying to get us to play more thematically, which I'm all for.
I'm all for.
I still think you're going to see people who will go, you know what, I don't care. I want to take the most powerful heroes. That outweighs losing everything.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
That's going to take, because like you say, some people think, oh yeah, I don't care, I'm still going to do that.
Yeah.
And I think after a few games of going, he's going to move. Oh, but I can't move these.
Yeah. All right, you can move Aragorn, but I'm still going to get to charge everybody else.
I think it's.
Now, what's interesting about this matrix is we're missing quite a few armies. So the one that jumps out to me is fiefdoms.
Yeah.
There's no fiefdoms on here. There's no Durance folk.
Yes.
Now, they may have been lumped in with other ones. I don't see it because if they'd put fiefdoms in with Minas Tirith, it would be called Minas Tirith.
No.
You'd expect it to be called Gondor.
Gondor, yeah.
And again, there doesn't seem to be many evil armies.
No.
So maybe in the army book there'll be another alliance chart. I'm a little bit bemused as to why they didn't put the full thing in the rulebook. I guess maybe it allows them to add more stuff at a later date.
Yeah.
Don't know. But there does seem to be stuff missing from here.
Yeah, it's odd because you've got factions from both eras.
Yeah.
From Hobbit and Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
but you've not got all of it.
Like the Serpent Horde, does that include Mahud?
Yeah, because we don't know that.
Umbar?
Yeah, we don't know that.
But I guess the army book will reveal
Yeah.
details.
Yeah. I have faith.
I have faith. Gotta have faith. So there's a bit about multiplayer games, which I think is in the Hobbit book.
Yeah.
and then we're on to scenarios. So these are the 12 scenarios that were put in the general accessory pack.
Yeah.
So it's good we've now got access to them again, because obviously that got sold out.
Yeah.
There's a bit on good versus good and good versus evil. So interestingly, the game is designed to be played as good versus evil. As you do now, you just pick one person to be good and one person to be evil.
For all
offs.
Scenarios, yeah.
Yeah. And then we're into the scenarios, which you should all know. You've got domination, to the death, hold ground, lords of battle, recon,
Yeah.
clash by moonlight, seize the prize, contest of champions, capture control, aliens of ages past, which is on a double spread, fog of war, and storm the camp. So all the scenarios we know already.
Scenarios, yeah.
I've not looked at these to see if they've changed from the General's accessory pack, because I lost my scenario cards. I can't imagine if they have changed, they've changed much.
No, they'll be minor.
Yeah. I see, considering when that accessories pack come out, I would assume they would have been tested and designed with this edition in mind.
Yeah,
so
I'd have said so.
Yeah.
Like I would say, if there is changes, I think they'll be minor. There's not going to be anything massive.
And that, as I say, is that is all the rules. Once you get past the objectives, you get to the armies of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Which is
just a page of each faction.
It is a page of each faction with pretty pictures. And as you get towards the back, you've got some example up. You've got a nice double page of Smaug. How interestingly have they got? So, just going to go back a little bit because
You checking the matrix.
well, I want to see if they've
See
got
what
it.
it says on the Serpent Horde.
So you got Minas Tirith, which has got some Army of the Dead in. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did notice is Mordor was split into Barad-dûr. So you've got Barad-dûr, which is Sauron and the Ringwraiths, and you've got Mordor, which is more Ringwraiths, Mouth of Sauron, Shelob and Gothmog, and some lovely Mordor orcs.
Lots and lots.
Moria, Isengard, Harad. So it has split Harad and Umbar. You've got Easterlings. Are they on the Matrix? I think they're on the Matrix.
Go past it.
Past it. Okay, there we go. It's interesting, the Easterlings aren't on there.
Like I say, I mean, all will be revealed, no doubt.
Yeah.
We've not got long to wait.
No.
I'm sure there is a reason for it.
Yeah, Thranduil. White Council, they're not on the list. Radagast Alliance. So lots of pretty pictures. And then as we get further back, we've got some example armies. So we've got Adam Troke's Gondor army, which looks really pretty.
Yeah, Gondor always looks lovely.
Yeah.
Who's that in Gondor's army?
Well spotted. There is. So not only does it give you a nice pretty picture, it also gives you an example army list. Now what is interesting about this is that from the army list Minas Tirith, Adam has Warband 2, Gandalf the White on Shadowfax, Peregrine Took, and then 12 Warriors of Minas Tirith, all in a warband.
So he's leading.
So Gandalf is leading Minas Tirith. This makes me so excited. Yeah. Like, I hadn't even noticed that when I was looking through.
That's cool.
That is cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that Minas Tirith got the shield wall special rule to make them a little bit more competitive and like, sort of sway people to use them. But the fact that you can bring Gandalf the White with him, and I'm assuming he's going to be able to lead. How many is he leading? 9, 10, 13, 14.
He's leading 15.
Well, 15.
Yeah. So he's at least a hero of fortitude. I mean, I would probably put Gandalf in that legend category.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
To see him legitimately in a Gondor Minas Tirith army is cool. I mean, you've seen it anyway, but he was always on his own.
I mean, what's really cool there is he's leading Pippin in his warband as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
How many points is Peregrine? He's 30 points now, so I doubt he's improved too much. Gandalf is 240, which is...
That's with Shadowfax.
Which is, I want to say, 10 points more than he is now.
Right.
So he's had a bit of an increase.
So I'm assuming he's
probably got...
Well, the thing is, people would always prefer, even though he was better, his points didn't justify bringing him over Gandalf the Grey.
Yes, correct.
Whereas now, hopefully it will.
Fingers crossed.
So he should have some
Yeah.
Cool additions to his profile.
Let's see if there's anything else we can notice.
Yeah, any sneaky little
Is there any sneaky things? So we've got Dan Wales Isengard, quite a prominent player, Team Knots.
Well done, Dan.
Yeah, very, very cool. The two armies that we started off with both have siege engines. Like, is this going to be a new thing? People are going to bring lots of siege engines? Doesn't seem to be anything sneaked in here.
No.
Really.
He's got berserkers, but there's no ferals.
So 8 berserkers is costing 120 points. So we'll do some quick math. What are they now? 15 points.
15.
So 120 divided by 8. Oh, there's still 15 points. Boring. Lurch is 90 points.
Oh,
up from 60.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Wasn't there a bit of a spoiler that Jake didn't have a con for Lurch, was it? Hurts?
I don't think he did anything. I can't remember. I had started drinking at that point. But Lurch is leading 15, so that would indicate that he's a hero of Valor.
Yeah, he's going to be awesome.
Saruman is leading 18. So Saruman is probably the hero of legend. Well, he is a hero of legend, he's leading 18.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. We've got Jake Clay, of course, his army being it. His Defenders of Erebor.
I love this army.
Yeah, it's a cool army. He's got Dane, Thranduil, Bard's kids.
They're all like 1,000-point armies, these aren't they? I do Mirkwood and Leytown quite a lot.
So interesting.
With great effect.
So this is a 1,000-point army, and the 3 warbands that Jay has are all heroes of legend. So Bard is a hero of legend, Thranduil is a hero of legend, and Dane is a hero of legend.
Yeah.
So some spoilers there.
So 57 models.
1,000 points.
He's actually got more than Dan.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't expect.
Which you wouldn't expect.
Heroes.
No.
But Dan's got a siege engine.
Yeah. And then we've got David Whittaker's Azog's Hunters. Well done. Again, another
well done, David.
respected member of the community. So the 3 trolls.
Are they the same prices?
They all come to 400 now. So they might have.
I think they did anyway, wasn't it?
No, it's 390.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 390.
Campfire's 15.
Right. He's not got the campfire in here.
No.
It looks like a couple of them have had a little bit of a points increase.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the campfire's irrelevant.
Maybe. We'll find out.
Because it seems odd that they've made it tally.
Unless maybe there's a special rule. You can take 3.
Yeah.
So he's got Bolg, who looks like to be a hero of Valor because he's leading 15. Fimbul is a hero of Fortitude by the looks of it because he's leading not a lot. Same for Hunter or Captain. So again, nothing sneaky there. So that Gandalf one was a little Easter egg. And I think if we go past here, it's all just.
Yeah.
So interestingly, it does show off the armies of the Hobbit artwork. This artwork manual contains 20 different army lists from the Hobbit trilogy, as well as from the pages of the books. So
you've got 27 army lists from Lord of the Rings and 20 from Hobbit.
So that's
47
army lists. So I'd imagine that alliance matrix is going to get pretty big.
Yeah.
The armies of the Hobbit will be available in the coming months. In the meantime, until it is released, you can use the profiles found in Heroes and Villains of Middle-earth download and the Hobbit motion picture trilogy. They're back again. There's also a free PDF download available on the Games Workshop website that will provide you with the army lists and what they contain, as well as heroic tiers, heroic abilities of all heroes found within the Hobbit to tide you over until the armies of the Hobbit is released.
I think they're releasing that on the day that the profile book's released.
Yeah, otherwise you invalidate an entire section of the range.
Yeah. So basically all those nerds are going to crash
Games Workshop's
website. They're trying to download it at the same time.
Yes. I'll probably wait until like the lunchtime.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are going to get Armies of the Hobbit book, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised it's not coming out on release, if I'm honest. Because...
Well, I've got a theory on release day.
Yeah.
On pre-order day. I think... Because we're getting quite a lot.
Yeah, they get splitting it.
Yeah. I think that we've also got the Forge World Minister of Warriors.
Dilemma.
They've got the Citadel.
Hurin and
yeah, they've got to be ready to release soon.
Yeah,
I think they might get them.
Similar time.
Similar time as the Hobbit book.
I mean, they've been very coy here and said the coming months.
Yeah.
So they're not put a date on it, which I think is smart.
Yeah. I like getting releases where you get a lot.
Yeah, it just strikes me as strange because when they redid 40k into 8th edition, they released all the indexes, so everybody had books for the day of release. I guess they are doing a PDF.
But maybe that book will reignite interest for the Hobbit.
Maybe.
It might spoil us with Lord of the Rings for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then reignite the Hobbit. Go back to the stuff that we still haven't got. Warbats and stuff like that.
Warbats, Capital Trolls.
Yeah.
Goats.
I mean, I'm in no rush to get them. I'd love everything now.
Yeah.
But, I'm in no rush. I like the fact that with getting stuff, and I think that might increase now because we had a bit of a lull, didn't we, just before the rulebook announcement. There was a bit of a lull.
Obviously they've been busy working on this.
Yeah, and hopefully Christmas time won't get spoiled. Touch wood.
Touch wood. There's a whole host of other bits about One Community, the paint app,
and your hobby and stuff like that.
And then your index, and that is the book.
That's it. So overall thoughts? Happy with it?
Yeah, I want to play some games.
Yeah, I'm over the moon with it. I mean, the fact that I've got this new book, it irons out all the creases. Not that there was many, to be fair.
Yeah.
There was just the odd, annoying ones that kept popping up in tournaments. It just makes it a lot simpler to follow the rules. Yeah. I think it's a nice book for anyone who doesn't know the rules, new coming into it. It's very easy to read and navigate.
As Jay said at Articon, and I will, after reading this, I will echo his sentiment. I believe this will be the best edition of SBG they've ever done.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is a big bold statement to make.
Well, I think it needed freshening up.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I think it needed just that influx of something new, just to reignite everyone's interest. And I think it has done, just since the announcement a few weeks ago. The internet's just been going insane.
Yeah. So one bit we did forget, and it's quite a key bit. If we rewind all the way back to heroic action. So there's always been this debate over heroic actions of who calls first.
Yes, there has.
This has been resolved in the book. If both players wish for hero models in their forces to attempt a heroic action in the same phase, they must take it in turns to nominate a hero, starting with the player who does not have priority.
So you've got priority.
Yeah.
You will say to me, do you want to call anything?
Yeah. Have you got any heroic, Steve? And you'll go, no.
And I can't do what I used to do and go, well, are you going to call anything?
Yeah. I'll strike if you strike. I mean, you could probably still do that.
Yeah.
But there is now a step, some steps to it. So it goes backwards and forwards. Both players may continue to declare heroic actions in this manner until both are satisfied. Sometimes you might have a situation where, because of one player's choice for heroic action or choice not to call, the other player, you might wish to reply. This is perfectly acceptable. You can always declare a heroic action if you have the might and hero models to spare. What you cannot do is go back and change or cancel one that's already been declared.
Yeah.
That's the key change.
So if you say to me, are you calling anything? And we've got two, you've got a hero, I've got a hero in combat, and I think that you're going to strike up, and I might be, my fight value might be 7 already, and yours is 6. If I say yes, I'm going to strike, and you say I'm not doing anything, I can't take that back.
No.
Yeah.
And likewise, if you go, I'm going to heroic combat, and I go, well, in that case, I'll heroic strike, you can't go, actually, I won't combat anymore.
Yeah.
You're now locked in. Now, there might be instances where you go, but certainly in match play, as I think we'll start calling it rather than tournaments.
If you're top table at a tournament, last game of the weekend,
you
need to take this into account because you will get pulled on it, and your opponent has every right to say, I'm sorry, but you've said you're going to do it.
Yeah, and you've got to do it.
Yeah.
And that is that.
That's it. So I think we've covered everything. There's probably a couple of little bits that we've missed or skimmed over, but all in all, really happy with that.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to playing some games.
Can't wait to get stuck in. Really can't wait. We've got a lot of stuff coming on the channel. I want to say thanks to Sam for coming and talking us through the book. We'll try and get him in a few more videos because he's very knowledgeable on mini games, not just this one. Maybe some 40k stuff, who knows. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.
See ya.